This week on Face Off Hockey Show, guess what? Johnny P's part of the press corps again. We'll talk about his weekend with the Maryland Black Bears. It sounds like he actually got signed. That'd be great. He'd probably be, they'd still be taller than him. We'll talk about Erik Karlsson being traded, and Adam Scorgie of the documentary Making Coco, the story of Grant Fuhr, will be on, and we'll talk about that. Huh? We have a guest. Enjoy Face Off Hockey Show right now.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face Off Hockey Show. What? With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway.
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
You believe it not? Oh, yes!
Here's your host for the Face Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Oh, why does my database always have to update? Anyway, welcome to Face Off Hockey Show. I'm indeed Scotty Waz. Thank you for joining us on this fantastic episode. Bound to be great. Like I said, Adam Scorgie from Making Coco, the Grant Fuhr story, will be on at the bottom of this first hour. We hope. We'll see if technicalities.
I did technically tell him the show started at 7:30.
So anytime between 7:30 and the end of the show.
Technically, I told him the show went from 7:30 to 9:30. I looked at my email after I sent it.
Oh, even better.
It hasn't been that way for 18 months.
No, 18 months. It hasn't been. Yeah, no, you're right. 18 months. I was thinking, no, it started at 9. Remember we did the show at 9:30? Oh boy,
that was hell.
Those were lean years.
I used to get home at 1:30 in the morning because I'd have to drop Mark off at college. Jerk.
Yeah, and I went back.
He was going to college.
I went back to Philly, so that was even better. Lyle Richardson joins us early. He was going to get on this Adam Scorgie train. Of course. With the whole Making Coco documentary, which I'll have to find out the air date. So we'll do with that. But ladies and gentlemen, most of you are here because of the things we did this weekend. And by things we did, I mean Johnny P did, as he attended the Maryland Black Bears inaugural series against the New Jersey Titans. 0 for 2.
Well, you did some good writing. You did good writing.
Did a little layman's work, but you got some photos. You got the crowd a bumping. The people loved it. People enjoying things. People buying not buying, sharing your pictures.
Not buying. No. They wanted pictures. I actually gave a couple pictures away to somebody's mom because she asked for them. And the irony of it all is that she works for a photography company.
Even better. Perfect. You can get your stuff on the ground floor here, brother.
I don't know. Maybe I get a new gig out of this. Who knows?
Perfect. Johnny P, how was the experience of NAHL hockey for the first time?
I'm going to. So it was really funny. I first got there. I hung out for a little while. Didn't want to really get in the way. It looked like a lot of people were running around doing things. And I was not. I was holding a camera. And I tried to talk to Ryan. And the person that I talked to, whom I did not catch his name, actually. He walked in the back and came back out with a press pass and was like, "Is this what you want?" I was like, "Sure." He goes, "Here you go." Thanks. 2018-19 season media pass. I was like, wow.
Ooh,
never had one of these before.
God, if only NHL passes could be that easy to get.
Right?
Yeah, right?
Wow.
So so I'm standing up top, like getting things ready, and this guy walks up, and because he's trying to clear the area, right? There was a little kids game right before the Black Bears game, so they're trying to get some people out because, people paid for tickets for the NHL. And he walks up and he sees the pass, and he's like, oh, do you work for us? And I was like, no, I'm here. I was telling him about Scotty's Chesapeake Hockey Week show, and that I was going to take some pictures for the Face Off Hockey Show. And he's like, oh, well, I'm the owner. Thanks. I appreciate what you're doing.
Wow.
I was like, huh, all right, check that out.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, he was also taking credit cards on night 2 in the media, in the merchandise tent. So he was doing a little everything.
Still.
But extremely personable man. A fantastic Bauer puffer jacket, black puffer jacket with the Black Bears logo on the front and the NAHL logo on the back collar. Oh yeah, I would have given him $200 cash right there if I could have gotten one of those. They were amazing. Game was good. There was a guy who decided that because I had a media pass that he should talk to me, and at some point looked at me and goes, "These kids are a lot bigger than I thought they'd be." I go, kids in general these days are a lot bigger. But Scotty's right. I'd still be the smallest person on the team, even though they're 16, 17-year-olds, right?
16 to 20.
16 to 20. All right. So game one was a bit of a blowout. Fans didn't really get into it. It was a feeling out process. Game two, much better. I think everybody was starting to figure things out. And I got Scotty a new puck. Check that thing out. It's beautiful, isn't it? Even it says inaugural NAHL season on it.
Pretty dope. That logo looks really great with the jerseys too, by the way.
An official puck as well. Jerseys apparently will be for sale in the October home games. They have 12th and 13th and 19th and 20th, I believe. They have 2 back-to-back weekends that are home in October. So I'm gonna try and get to as many games as I can. But it's good hockey. I mean, it's good. It's fast. It's quick. There's a bunch of hitting. At one point during the game, the owner walks past me again, and he looks at me and he goes, he's like, "Yep, this league's a little rough," and just kept walking. And I was like, it's like, wow. And then there was a fight in the third period, so I finally understood what he was talking about. Yeah. But there was some big hits, some good hitting, good goals. So yeah, I think that this is a team that the area can latch on to. Like 2 games in, and I already feel like I feel bad if I'm going to miss a game this season. I think I'm like, I kind of want to be here all the time. Like, I feel like this is my team now.
Good.
Chris, I don't know if they're going to sell the jerseys online, but when we find out, we'll definitely let people know.
We will definitely let you guys know, because those are. I'm going to bring up a picture of it here.
The red, I've only seen the white jerseys, but the Bear had a red jersey on that looks fantastic as well.
Yeah, the Bear always. I thought the Bear should have told you the red jersey was on sale. So here's
Park's closed.
Yeah, Park's closed. So there you go. There is the Joysies.
Nice.
Pretty slick, pretty simple. My big thing, and Johnny, you mentioned it, that the Maryland flag can be upside down or cannot be upside down depending on the jersey.
Well, so it's kind of like the back of hockey puck. So I was asking Scotty, I was like, okay, see hockey puck straight up and down, right? Straight up and down. I'm gonna turn it. It's like a magic trick, and now that's askew. I was like, aren't they both supposed to match up? This is throwing me off. And then Scotty brings out a bunch of pucks, and nothing he has.
So I got my Skipjack's puck, and it's straight up here, and then turn around. Look at that AHL logo, just there, just there.
But yeah, so I think the patches are kind of the same way. It was kind of like somebody just threw them down in a pile and was like, I got to sew these Maryland patches on the shoulders of these jerseys, and just was like, grab one. And like, it doesn't matter which way it goes on. The yellow and black part's always in the top corner, even though it's supposed to be black. I have
black part by rules of Maryland. I think you have the flag rules there, don't you?
Flag card right here still.
Those guys are flags.
It's right here. It even tells you. See right there, the one on the top. It says correct. Black square in the top left corner, right there. Correct. The other 2 are wrong. Right? It says it right here on my card, and it's from CR Flags. They're actually protocol excerpts for the Maryland flag.
Literally, if you go to the Maryland government site, they have a whole section on how the flag should be flown.
Maryland Flag Day is March 9th.
Ooh.
Didn't even know there was one.
Now you know.
And then Maryland Day is, I think, March 25th.
Something like that.
Yeah, sounds right.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun this week. Next time I'll try and get some audio. I bought a 30-pin to Lightning adapter today on eBay for I believe it was a hefty sum of just around $4.50.
Did the shipping cost more than the actual product?
So I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that in the bottom of the iPhone and see if I can use my old blue mic that I had for the iPod.
Nice.
Yeah, so maybe I can get some audio. They have the Black Bears have a German goalie, 19 years old, 6'9", 210 pounds.
Sweet Jesus.
Hasn't suited up yet, but
he's got to be still growing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
wow. How old is he?
19.
19.
Oh, okay, yeah, 19. Yeah, he probably still has. Wow, maybe he has one more growth spurt left.
25. The thing is he can play goaltender for a university and also be like the starting center as well in the basketball team. So, yeah, it's good. It's good. You had it. It looked like a fun weekend. I watched the game on Hockey TV the second night because I bought a subscription because I'm like, screw it, why not? So yeah, and then they're playing in Blaine this weekend. All games are televised, but it looks like the Wi-Fi in the rink is a little spotty. So the broadcast seems a little blur, but they play tonight at 8:00 Eastern, or 8:30 Eastern, something. So yeah, it's a fun time. So glad you enjoyed it. Glad you're able to get in. It was a good time.
But they put the moral of the entire story is that the Black Bears. So for months, right? We were talking about advertising on the ice or something. Like I figured we could pull enough Patreon money together to get some advertisements in. It never came to fruition at all. And then Scotty writes an article about the Black Bears. We take a bunch of pictures and it shows up as a main article on their website, like right on the front page.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
And my buddy K-Man sent a thing out to me on Twitter saying, you know what, their marketing campaign's a little too guerrilla, talking about Black Bears in the Maryland area attacking some people. So I think that kind of weird.
I think it's not enough.
Right, exactly. I'm just like, that's, if anything, that's just a good start. So, did you do anything else this weekend there, Johnny?
What else did I do? There was a cousin, a 1-year-old cousin party. So that went on this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I'm sure something else happened. Actually, I was feeling kind of sick earlier. I slept for, I think, a combined 21 hours in the past 2 nights.
Good God.
Wow.
Just because my body doesn't really like weather changes. And in Maryland, it went from like 80 to 65 to 80 to 70 to 80 to 90 in like 4 days. My body basically gave me a massive F off, and I just took enough drugs to kill a small horse and slept for about 12 hours.
Yeah, that'll give you a nice little sinus fun time.
Yeah, so that was a lot of it. A lot of sleeping. That's what I do best, really.
Good deal. Lyle, did you have anything fun this week happen to you since we last spoke?
No, not really. It was
cool.
just normal weekend. This weekend, though, I'm heading to, on Saturday, the PEI Beer Festival.
Ooh.
Is happening again. This is, I think, what, the 12th or 13th one. It's been doing it for a while. All the local craft breweries, so none of this, and they come from as far away even as Ontario and Newfoundland, throughout the maritime provinces as well. They all combined for this. We went last year for the first time, and it was fabulous. It was great. You get wee little mugs about that big, where you go around and you test and sample all the wares and everything like that. And it took about an hour to get around to make the complete round, because they hold it at the Delta Hotel downtown. It's the biggest hotel here in Charlottetown. Yeah, fair size. 2 big giant conference rooms. They open up in just one bay hall. And so it took about an hour to get around all these things. And then we decided to do another lap. And by the time we finished the second lap, we were half in the bag and ready to go eat fish and chips. So
there you go. Perfect.
That was a very
like
entertaining
around the world party from college.
Oh, listen, it was fantastic though. I mean, we got to try all these different wares, like from a lot of these different breweries that hadn't heard of before, or were starting to come into the game here locally, and it was just met a lot of really interesting people, and then afterwards went for fantastic fish and chips at the Water Street Fish and Chips. So we're gonna go and do that again.
Now that we're all together now, you can bring some PEI beer. I'll bring some Maryland beer and the burger cookies, and Scotty can bring like massive potatoes or something.
There we are.
Exactly.
Here we go. We'll chop those potatoes, and we'll make fries out of them. There you go.
Perfect. No, just eat the potato
fries
whole.
and burger cookies don't work well together.
No, that doesn't.
Okay. Well, we'll find some.
2 beers and a burger cookie is just as good as taking time.
Yeah.
Or just get the burger cookie beer when they have.
Oh,
Well,
I don't even know if it's come back out again. Actually,
I don't think it has. I think it was a one-time run, which is actually.
I think it was a one-time run, and I think it's done with.
Yeah, one and done.
Too bad.
Lyle had a burger beer, I believe, a burger cookie beer.
Did he?
I think I brought them to Buffalo.
Did you bring that? Or you
I
bring
have
the
no
Dead
idea.
Rise? I think you brought the Dead Rise.
Maybe. I have
You
no
brought
idea
so
what I
many
brought to
different
Baltimore.
ones. You brought so many different ones, and they were all delicious. Even the ones that froze on me, they made wonderful beer slushies.
There you go. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I do best.
All
Get my
right.
friends drunk.
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect.
And we appreciate that.
So there you go. There's Lyle's week. Fish and chips.
Coming up. Yeah.
Coming up. Yeah. Me. I met co-host to my NASCAR show, Mr. Todd P. Butts, was in Alexandria, Minnesota, about an hour and a half away. I'm an hour and a half away from Fargo. I was an hour away from Fargo. I was like, hey, let's go have big potatoes.
There
So
you
we
go.
went and had some big potatoes and caught up on life and things. That was good to see him. That was always fun. Haven't seen him
I
in,
was having a
haven't seen-
random thought
Yeah.
for haha fuck you
Mhm.
that we could all name the original Lubamirs and Olegs from Todd's team the first year of fantasy hockey.
I actually do have that list, so we're good to go.
I know you do.
So yeah, hung out with him. That was a good time. The day before, I had something fun come in the mail for me. Chaboy got himself Oyo rink.
There you go.
Caps Oyo ring, since I have like 153 Caps figures. That's a lie. But yeah, I bought this on the eBays. So now I got to put it together. That's going to be something. That's probably a weekend adventure.
Nice.
So yeah, Saturday hung out and watched the Black Bears and all that fun stuff. Did we do anything? No, we didn't really do anything this weekend. It was kind of just chill, very chill weekend. Just hanging out, doing whatever. I had to work this weekend. I had a weekend, so yeah, these things happen. I bought tickets to go back home, so we're going. Breaking news: Face Off Hockey Show will be indirectly at the opening night for the Washington Capitals, as the banner raises up, thanks to the University of North Dakota. So Jen and I are going to be in town.
Sweet.
About a week, and then we're gonna go to the opening night, which means mark your calendars, folks. October 2nd, we'll be doing a Tuesday night show.
Okay.
Tuesday
All
night,
right. All right.
October 2nd.
From the basement.
From the basement.
I know where a studio is around here.
Perfect. Can you do some voiceover work for me? That'd be great.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try. Okay. I was talking with Ballingy. Maybe we can get Ballingy involved and we can go play darts.
Oh, Jesus. That'd be perfect. Go to Frank's Den. Oh, that'd be great.
I told him we might have to fight our way out, though.
Yeah, that's fine. We're up for it. So yeah, we're gonna come into town. Jen wants to go to the ocean. There's an O's game going on. We're probably able to get tickets for the O's game.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have
There's
too
an
much
O's game in
difficulty
October?
getting.
Well, no, it's Johnny. We're coming in the 29th, so 29th and 30th are the last two
You
games.
get time for the last weekend of the O's otherwise forgettable season.
Oh no, Lyle, this could be the best season on the.
I know. When you
most
set a
memorable
franchise
season.
record for losses, I mean, damn.
Hey,
Like,
next year is the year that they come one win away from making it to the playoffs. I've seen this before.
Yeah, and the thing is, Brady Anderson's going to be running the team next year. He's practically running it now.
And
So-
Brady Anderson was on the 1989 Orioles Why Not team.
Yep,
It's all
sure.
cyclical.
It's coming together.
It's all
coming
coming
in a
together.
big way.
There you go.
Chris Hoyles will be back. It's going to be fantastic. I don't know if Chris
Pete
Hoyles is going to be
Harnish.
back. Oh God, Pete Harnish. So yeah, we might go catch an O's game. Then we got Johnny. The best part about this is Johnny and I will be able to watch us watch NASCAR for In the Draft show on the same couch together.
Oh, yes. Yes, we get to watch the Roval.
Yeah,
Oh, this is
Stupid
going to be
Roval.
amazing. The Roval is
and then we could get
such a
Jen in
dumb
on this.
idea
She'll be like,
and
"What are you guys
fantastic.
doing?" This
Jen can be like throwing stuff at us.
Be great.
I have to clean my house probably, don't I?
Just make
I've
sure
got like 2 weeks.
Make sure the bedroom's you got a week from Saturday.
I have like 6 months of junk mail in my living room just because I haven't felt like shredding it. So maybe I'll do that this weekend.
There you go, weekend project. All right, well, let's get to some things and stuff. We'll get to the big pressing matter now. We're not going to get the injuries yet. The rundown's all screwed up. So, first and foremost, Lyle, hey, it finally happened. Erik Karlsson goes away from Ottawa. He is now the newest member of the San Jose Sharks. In return, it looks like the Ottawa Senators got nothing, nobody, and who gives a crap. Sorry, it was Chris Tierney, Dylan DeMello, Josh Norris, Rudolph Baskler, first round pick in 2020, second round pick in 2019, conditional second round pick in 2021, and I think one of the picks turns into a first round if he gets traded to an Eastern Conference team before the end of this year.
Yeah. Which ain't happening. But
wow. That's a weird stipulation to put on it.
Yeah.
Well, they saw what happened when they traded Mike Hoffman to the Sharks, and then the Sharks traded him right to the Panthers.
Yeah. They don't want to wake up one morning and go, what, Erik Karlsson's a Toronto Maple Leaf? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So Lyle, finally it happened. We can all see Dave Pagnotta just waving his D around. I finally did it! Woo! Yeah. Man, rest in peace, Ottawa Senators. Like this is you don't get a strong roster player. You don't get a shining light prospect. You get a first round draft pick 2 years from now, even though that draft pick's probably going to be craptastic anyway because the Sharks will be good. Mm-hmm. Like what does Pierre Dorion make Marc Bergevin look like a genius? I guess is the question.
No. Dorian's doing the best he can with an owner breathing down his neck saying, get this deal done now. That's why. This is what's known in the business as a Melnyk special. This is when Eugene Melnyk meddles in management affairs and your team basically has to accept what it got. I mean, look, to be fair, Tierney is, at best, he will be a second-line center. At best. He's a good third-line center right now. He's, at best, going to be maybe a second-line center.
Hey, on this team, he might crack the top line. You don't know.
He'll definitely, as long as Matt Duchene's still in town, Tierney will probably be second-line. DeMello, he'll probably get top 4 minutes on this team. He's going to see a lot more ice time than what he got in San Jose, that's for sure. The prospects could work out all right. Okay, I mean, this is where, the two prospects, not too bad. They could have been a lot worse. But the draft picks, it's just, nah. But honest to God, if they had waited, if this had not been a Melnyk special, if Melnyk had stayed out of it and had let Dorian be patient, do the Joe Sakic thing, wait for the better deals to come in, he would have gotten a better deal. But this is the best he could get because Melnyk was breathing down his neck saying, make this happen now. So, yeah, this overwhelmingly, this deal is being panned. I mean, I know people are saying, well, let's see how it looks down the road with the draft picks. Let's see how it looks, let's see how the two prospects work out. But ultimately, I mean, look, the Senators were never going to get equal value from Erik Karlsson in a trade. That was not going to happen. I still think if they'd just been patient, they might have got something better from the Golden Knights. They might have got something better from the Lightning. Maybe another team would have jumped in there. The Dallas Stars. Maybe they might have got something better there. Because let's face it, when we were picking a week ago where Karlsson could end up, I mean, I had the Sharks at the bottom of that list. I did. I said, well, maybe, but I really didn't think they had the depth in the prospects and good young players that they could afford to offer up to bring Karlsson to San Jose. I really thought it was going to be Dallas, maybe the Golden Knights, maybe the Lightning, but I was really kind of looking at Dallas. But no, this is what happens when your owner gets in the middle of it. So, Yeah, I don't blame Senators fans for not being happy with this, and I can't disagree with most of the assessments that were made of this deal by my peers or my betters. It was just no, this isn't a return to get excited about.
The only upside in all this is that Josh Norris is the son of former Baltimore Bandits captain Dwayne Norris. So
there you go.
Got that going for.
I was also thinking that the Sharks may be the first team in hockey history to play a 2-3 with wingbacks that flank down the side, because I feel like they have better defensemen now. Like they could just run. They could run a Brent Burns on one side and Erik Karlsson on the other side and let them switch. It's like watching a young Donovan and Dempsey.
It is. It really is. I don't know what that means, but it sounds great. I haven't even checked my fantasy football team. Oops. But yeah, I mean they're offensively, their defense is better than some teams' offense.
Oh my lord, they're gonna make life miserable for opponents. Are you kidding me? The speed out of their own zone now is just going to be ridiculous.
Who has more points in the season, Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson, or the top 2 scorers for the Arizona Coyotes?
Okay, you winner chicken dinner right there, boy.
Like, honestly,
I'm telling you. Well, and I tell you, this is just like an arms race. This was just, I think, the culmination of the arms race that we saw this summer in the Western Conference. Because you look at the Blues, they made a bunch of moves. You know, brought it, like I said, bringing in Ryan O'Reilly, bringing in Tyler Bozak, bringing back David Perron, bringing in the local boy, you know, Pat Maroon. You know. Then you saw the Kings, they went and got themselves an Ilya Kovalchuk, you know, did that before the Blues made all their trades. You know, then you look at the Golden Knights going, hey, hang on here. We're not a fluke. We're no one-hit wonder. So, I mean, bang, bringing in Max Pacioretty to be on the second line center with Paul Stastny. I mean, boy, howdy. There's some offensive punch there. That's going to be one of the better second lines in the league. And now you got the Sharks going, hey, we see what you guys do and raise you an Erik freaking Karlsson. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say Doug Wilson just propped open that what we once considered a closing Stanley Cup window of opportunity for his team. That just props it open for it, you know, at least this year for sure. And if they can re-sign him, maybe a couple of more years afterwards.
Does Doug Wilson get the due praise as a GM as he should?
I think this is going to cement it, because if anybody pulls off blockbusters where he comes out on the happy side of it almost every friggin' time, come on. I mean, look, earlier this year, I mean, we were singing the guy's praises for getting Evander Kane for a song. Okay, I mean, sure, it was a second round pick that became a first round, but regardless, you know, Evander Kane, you know, you just propped up your left side now for the next 5 years. You know, that was good enough, but this, oh my God, this is just I don't think the only deal that compares to it is the one he swung 12 years ago to bring Joe Thornton to San Jose.
I was gonna say, like, all these deals,
yeah,
like and you got to figure, I think didn't Brent Burns come in some kind of deal too?
Yes, he did. Wasn't that the one that sent Danny Heatley to Minnesota? Wasn't he part of that? Let's find it.
I'm trying to find it right here. It's
quick, Chris is asking if the deal is going to cost Dorian his job, but
no,
if we don't. Is it Melanic's fault, really, like we talked about earlier, or does Melanic at some point be like, nah, I don't want this guy around?
No, it wasn't Danny Heatley.
It was Seneguchi, Coyle, and a first rounder.
Who was the first rounder? Who became that first?
2011.
2011. That's the Minnesota draft.
Yeah, it's the draft we were all at.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with Johnny's take, by the way, about why Steve Yzerman stepped down. He did it because he felt all that guilt and shame all these years later for stealing our wages.
It took him a while.
It ate away at his soul. It ate at his soul.
God, where's the Wild? Jesus Christ! Oh, it was Zach Phillips. It turned into.
Oh, so bake a whole lot of nothing. Okay.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
but
yeah,
still, you still win that deal. Good Lord. I mean, Charlie Coyle, yeah, decent defenseman, but not, or decent forward, sorry. But, and poor Devin Zetaguchi. That's actually a sad story. I'm glad that he got his life turned around, but it came at the cost of his NHL career. But yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Charlie Coyle's a decent young forward, but he's no Norris contending defenseman.
No, he's not.
So,
and let's be honest, Brent Burns didn't really show that off in Minnesota all that much either. So who?
Yeah, but look who he was playing for there.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. It's just like
once he went to a team where they were just like, let the pony run.
Is it because Doug Wilson's out west? He's underrated, I think, in the eyes of everyone else.
I think that has a lot to do with that. I think
it's because all their home games start at 7:30 Pacific. Because why not? Because screw you in the East Coast. Is that it?
It's got to be. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna check something out here on NHL Trade Tracker, my tracker for tracking trades. Blah blah blah. History of NHL trades. Let's see here. Trades by general manager and of your San Jose Theodore Sharks. By the way, Sharks have only had 4 general managers in their entire lifetime.
Oh yeah, Doug Wilson's been there forever.
He's been there since 2003.
Doug Wilson is a modern day Sam Pollock.
Yeah, I am going. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm just saying in tenure.
He is,
and I also think he scouts baseball teams too.
But yeah, I mean, if you go and you look back in his trade history, though, I mean, geez, he tends to win more trade. There's that Thornton trade again. The one that we called. That was
Illuminata says no one stays up late for the Sharks games.
Not wrong. That's why somehow Martin Jones.
Well, maybe we bloody well should start doing that because boy, friggin' howdy!
Wow, that's like it's like 7 o'clock the next day for you.
Oh, I know. Well, that's why hey, that's why I can record games. But yeah, I mean, look, they got Dan Boyle from the Lightning in 2008 at the cost of Matt Carl and Ty Wishart. 2009 first round pick, which became Kyle Palmieri, who never played a friggin', or if he did, he didn't play very much for the Lightning, and a 4th round pick. So he got the better of that deal for sure, hands down. Acquired Brian Campbell from the Buffalo Sabres, the cost of Steve Bernier, 2008 first round pick that was 26 overall, became Tyler Ennis. So there's another big winner there. Scrolly. Here we go. Yeah, he kind of lost out the. He lost out on the Josh Georges for Craig Rivet one. That was a rare loss. Marty Havlat for Danny Heatley. Those two
kind of a push.
Yeah. Zipping through here.
By the way, Kyle Palmieri never played for the Lightning.
Didn't think he did. And got Danny Heatley while he was still good for Jonathan Chichu and Milan Mahalik and a 2nd round pick. So I would give that the slight edge to them for that one. Yeah. So like I said, the guy has a tendency to win more trades than he loses. That is for darn sure. Yeah, because I'm still scrolling through here real quick. And then, but yeah, he hasn't made a whole bunch of like big moves until we got then he went kind of quiet from 2012, looking onward after he did the Brent Burns thing. Jason Demers for Brendan Dillon, kind of a wash, that one. But okay. So we get into
There's another trade on the chat. It says, don't forget about the Sharks' insane late round picks that turned into the likes of Joe Pavelski.
That's true.
So not just trades even.
Yeah, but I think that was before Wilson's time. Correct me if I'm wrong. When was Pavelski drafted?
I have no idea.
Well, I'll find out.
It was probably in that 96 to 99 dead era.
That's what I'm thinking here. Let's have a look. I could be wrong.
2003.
His first year. So we got to give that up to him then. Though, mind you, that's really at that point, though. That's scouts. That's scouts at that point. That's pretty much scouts. The scouts going, what do you think? Yeah. But yeah, he went pretty quiet there for a while. He got James Reimer 2 years ago, right before the deadline, who didn't play very, very much for them and is no longer there. But again, kind of quiet for a while. And then we see this year where it becomes boom. from between February to now, he got Evander Kane. He got Mike Hoffman, which he then flipped to the Panthers for 3 picks, and then makes the big one, of course, which is the Karlsson deal. So, well, I think maybe that's why we kind of underrated him there, because he went kind of quiet there for a while. He didn't make the big blockbuster moves.
And this is not with mentioning, not even talking about Martin Jones finessing that away from the Bruins too.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I forgot. I missed that. So, okay, no, I'm actually a little wrong there.
Because he was
that 2015, 2016?
2015.
2015, yeah. So he did wangle that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was at first Jones went to Boston with Colin Miller, and Jakub Zboril in exchange for Milan Lucic, and like 10 minutes later, 4 days later, the Bruins traded Jones to the Sharks in exchange for a first-round pick and college prospect Sean Kuraly. That first-round pick turned out to be, let's see, from St. Louis, Trent Frederick. That's right, Trent Frederick. Please hold everyone at bay. Trent Frederick. Mm-hmm. I don't know who Trent Frederick is either, guys. So there we go. That's that. He's doing well. He's doing well for himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. It's just when he strikes, he's stealthy. He's a stealthy guy. Like I said, the Sharks. He was linked though to Karlsson for a while, but I mean, he also tried to get in on Kovalchuk. He got into the bidding there for Tavares. So he was going after a big fish this summer. And boy, howdy, did he ever land a big one.
I would say the biggest non-unrestricted free agent out there, in all honesty.
Chris is asking if Doug Wilson is already locked up the GM of the Year award.
Ooh.
I'll tell you, if the Sharks become, stay in Stanley Cup contention, then absolutely gets my vote. If the Sharks, if we get to April and the Sharks are among the top teams in the league, because they don't base it on how they do in the playoffs, it's based on how they do during the season. Mm-hmm. If they're among the top teams in the Western Conference and in the league overall, then absolutely.
Yeah, you have to hope for that. We are now joined by Adam Scorgie. He is a documentarian. He's been on the show before, and he is getting into a quiet space, as it seems. His house is wild, much like the reviews have been wildly great for his newest documentary, Making Coco, the Grant Fuhr story. Adam, welcome back. Thank you for joining us, sir.
No problem. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, sorry, just going downstairs where the Bratskys aren't here. I have 3 kids in the house. So
hopefully they're all yours and none of them just snuck in. That would have been weird.
They all are mine. But sometimes there's friends and stuff over, and then those ones obviously do not belong to me.
Perfect.
It's a little different than the last interview where you were in your car.
Yes.
So we appreciated you making the time then too, though. But yeah.
I always find a way. That's why I put Creative Hustler on my business card. I will find a way.
I tell you what, the reviews for Making Coco have been nothing short of amazing. Everyone's saying go out of your way to see it. It premiered in Toronto a couple weeks back, and it's going to be doing the rounds of the Calgary Film Fest and the closing ceremonies, and also something very special, a TBA even in the Edmonton area. How has this whole thing been for you? Because obviously Grant Fuhr, very, very personal guy. How hard was it to get him out of the shell for this documentary?
It was, as most people know, historically with Grant, he's a man of very few words, right? Even he often says in recent interviews, he's like, if you would have got 5 words out of me when I was playing, that was a lot. So we knew that going in, but it was pretty easy because our director, Don Metz, has known Fuhr for over 25 years. He's filmed him ever since his rookie year, and they've known each other personally. And then on top of that, like, Grant knew of Ice Guardians. I had actually like my geek out moment as a filmmaker when we're doing the first conference call, kind of when Don was putting this together with me, when we wanted to work together, and we're on with Grant Fuhr. And of course, growing up as an Oilers fan in Western Canada, I obviously knew who Grant was. And then he stopped the conference call and he's just like, Adam, I just want to tell you, I'd seen Ice Guardians several times on Netflix and I loved it. And he's like, I'm so pumped that you are also producing my story. So I had that geek out moment of being like, I had to be cool and be like, yeah, Grant, you know, it's I'm looking forward to working with you too. But I'm kind of like, oh, dude, like Hall of Famer Grant Pierce pumped that I'm doing his story. Like, this is awesome.
That's when I put the phone on mute and I run around the house for 3 minutes.
Yeah, like I had to just say, I'm like, can we mute this conference call? I'm like, yes, fucking right. So there's a lot of trust all around. He'd seen what our team had done. You know, Ice Guardians is a very controversial and sensitive subject in in certain parts, and the guys had shared their stories. So he'd obviously seen the trust around the league. And hockey, unlike any other sport, has a very tight niche community. And, you know, the word gets around quick if you're either doing things the right way or the wrong way. So Grant had clearly heard that about my team, and then knowing Don for years. We had a lot of trust going into those real emotional moments. And that's how we were able to get Grant to share himself in a way that I don't think had ever been shared. And I mean, you know, even that was probably the best compliment we got at Toronto, is that people had said that, you know, they had never seen this side of Grant before. And it was a great side. And they hope other hockey players will take note and hopefully do documentaries in the same vein, because Grant just took everything right on the chin and was honest and open from the get-go.
How candid was, because obviously a lot of people are candid, but what came out of these interviews that you did with the cast that you have, his former teammates, former executives, and things like that you may not have known? Obviously, rumors were always abound about his career and what he did and didn't do. Is there one thing that stood out to you, like, wow, that was true, or wow, that was false?
Well, how the suspension happened, because his suspension would never fly today. It just, the NHL at the time had no official rules on the books for people that had done illegal substances. So they didn't know how to deal with it. And rather than looking at it a way of like, well, we should help, they looked at it as a way of we should punish. And the way it all broke out is Grant had already stopped using for a year. He had gone to a rehab clinic, been out for a year, hadn't used in over a year, and then the story broke. So it's really ironic that, like, he'd already done his partying and he'd already been to rehab and had been back on the right track for over a year. And then because he openly admitted it in an interview here with the Edmonton Journal, that's why he got suspended, which is outrageous. Like, he never failed a team test. He never failed a league test. He was never caught, never criminally charged, no DUI, never caught in possession, just simply because he admitted it because he was honest, God forbid being honest, right? He was punished for that. And originally they were looking at a lifetime banishment from the NHL, but then reduced it to 1 year and then reduced it to 40 games. Like, I think when most people actually see how it all went down, you're like, what? Like, that's insane. And then we have old footage of him. You want to talk about a warrior taking it on the chin. He did interviews from day one. He tried to get ahead of it and be honest and spoke on radio shows. He even allowed callers to call in back in the 80s and give their opinion. Like, we're watching this old footage and listening to this. I'm like, you wouldn't get an athlete on the planet that would do that today. They would have agents and managers and publicists blocking, and, like, you know, what a change. It's why when he went up on stage, he got a standing ovation, because everybody's like, my God, I knew you were a fantastic athlete, but I had no idea how well you took this back then and then again now, right? So that was really the part that shocked me. And of course, there's all the other fun stuff in the sport, like just seeing the way he played, like his, you know, unique, flamboyant style, right? As a small goaltender, we have footage of him like challenging a player 15 feet out of the net and making 3 saves, right? Like, you just don't see that kind of stuff, right? So there's a lot of elements like that. I think that's been constantly the reviews from Toronto, is people are like, man, I didn't know that. And then getting to relive kind of just the tremendous athlete and flamboyant goaltender he has been just, I think, for a treat for the audience all around.
Lyle, Johnny, you guys have any questions? Anything to shoot in?
Go ahead, Lyle.
Yeah. Well, first thing I want to say, Adam, is when I saw the trailer, I mean, that it's rare for me that a trailer makes me go, oh my God, I've got to see this movie. You know, like, and I'm not saying this like to blow smoke up your butt here. Like, seriously, I tend to be a little skeptical with trailers. Like, it's got to be really good to make me go, oh my God, I've got to see this movie. But you really captured just so many different facets of what that, I think, your movie is trying to say about Fuhrer and his career. I mean, as you said, The one thing that really struck me though in that trailer that really hit home, where he's talking about how he's in control when he's on the ice, when he's playing, he's at home, everything's fine. But off the ice, he's like having heart palpitations. He's feeling really stressed. Was that because of the pressure that he was under playing in Edmonton? Because, listen, I was in my early 20s back in the glory days of the Oilers, and I mean, I could, like, we hear about how, like Montreal and Toronto are such stressful places to play, but Edmonton in that time, I know that just must have been just insane at that time to be carrying that burden.
No, that clip wasn't from his playing. Like, that's the part when you say, like, the playing, like, there's no goalie, I'd argue no goalie better in history that could handle that. Like, that to him was calm to him. Like, it was what happened when he admitted, when he was honest, the extracurricular stuff, right? As a guy, he's like, holy cow, the world is attacking me. Like, and he really saw that vicious side of all of a sudden fans that loved him hated him. And like, we're calling him being like, you should be banished forever and you're a disgrace. And he's like, wow, because I'm 26 years old and I made a mistake and I was honest about it. Like, that was the big shocking thing for him. He's like, God forbid if I would have lied and then got caught. Like, I just took it on the chin and said, yeah, I did that. Like, you guys are going to print the article anyway, so I may as well just be honest. That's the part that he had a panic attack. He was actually trying to leave Edmonton, especially in Edmonton. That team and that dynasty, like, they were gods here, right? So he was trying to fly to LA, and the Edmonton Journal met him at the airport, and he spoke to them then, and he thought he was having a heart attack or a panic attack, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where he gets emotional a couple times in the film. Is he's like, man, I had no ideas. Like, I couldn't imagine what it would be like now with Twitter and social media. He's like, even then, I couldn't get away, right? Yeah. So he's like, it was that part, because the ice was always kind of like, as you see in the trailer, it says his sanctuary, his place where no matter what was going on in personal life, he could come to the ice, he could work his butt off, and he could control everything that he was out there to do, right? But in the other world with opinions and everything else kind of attacking him, he couldn't control that.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. Go ahead. Scott.
I was just going to say, Adam Scorgie joins us from Making Coco, the Grant Fuhr story, a Sportsnet original documentary. If you're in the Calgary area, September 29th, there's a gala down there for the Calgary Film Fest. In October, TBA, which is my favorite day of October, in Edmonton. Something special coming soon there. Lyle?
There was just one other thing there, too, that the whole thing about what I also saw in the trailer as well, the issue of Grant being like, the first black player to win the Stanley Cup, the first black player in the Hall of Fame. I'm curious if the movie also touches on perhaps any possible bigotry that Grant might have encountered during his career in the early 80s, because as you said, back then the NHL was still very much a lily white, pretty much all Canadian league. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, did he touch on any of that at all? Did he encounter anything like that?
You know what? We dug and dug and dug for that, but it just wasn't there. Like, Grant is like, man, I really think Willie O'Ree and Tony McKegney and Val James took the brunt of that long before me, because he's like, growing up in Canada and Spruce Grove, like, and we thought there'd be much more there. He's like, honestly, I really didn't experience it. And he said, to be fair, he's like, one, I wore a mask, so other than my fro sticking out, you might not have really known. He's like, and two, I was fortunate enough to play on really good teams. He's like, now that's a big difference, right? If you're on a losing team, people can be much more critical. But, that time, he's from Spruce Grove originally, and he also he's an adopted child. We talk about that, 2 white parents and him being a black child. But he's like, that was a great thing in Spruce Grove at the time. Like, if you were a good hockey player, they didn't give a shit what your skin color was. Like, this kid can play hockey. And we do touch on it. Like, Sather even said, he's like, Grant told me that he's an adopted child and his parents were white and he was, of course, black. And he's like, and Sather's like, I don't care. Can you play hockey? He's like, they really didn't care. Grant didn't experience any racism until he moved to the States for the first time. He said, that's where I experienced it. And being kind of a naive Canadian, he's like, that's where he's like, when he went to Buffalo, and it didn't make the film, but he told us about the story where he went to go apply at a golf course that many of the other teammates had a membership. And they were like, oh, sorry, like, we don't allow people like you to get a membership. And Grant, being like the naive Canadian, was kind of like, why, hockey players? Like, half my team has memberships here, right? And they're like, no, that's not it. And then the fans reacted, where the fans burnt a swastika in that golf course, and the whole board of directors got fired. They brought on new people. They then gave Grant, they offered him a membership, but by then Grant's like, no, I just signed up at the golf course down the road, but thank you, right? Like, he said that was really where I was like, oh, wow, racism is a much different thing here in the United States than it is in Canada. And he's been asked that in a lot of media interviews now, and he thinks it's actually more polarized now, which is sad, than when he played back then. He says things seem to be resurfacing, and it's much more polarized. The race issue seems to be much more polarized now.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if you guys touched on it all. One of the favorite stories that my girlfriend likes to tell about Grant Fuhr, because she loves hockey history, is him trying to get Pepsi on his pads as a sponsorship deal, which kind of forced him to quote unquote retire for a bit. But that was a whole thing with Sather and everything like that. Was that touched on at all? In this
it doesn't make the cut, but we did go into that, and that was much more of his former manager Rich Winter pushing that kind of stuff. Rich was really trying to break some of those new things into the league that weren't being done at the time. But Rich, it was funny because Grant fired Rich and split up with his wife, and they were the ones that became the witnesses for the Edmonton Journal. They were essentially the ones that helped facilitate the story, right? Which, again, when you find that out, you're like, what? They're like, two people that were closest to him were the witnesses for, like, it. You really, like in most films, you try to build up your hero. In this one, it was so easy. We're like, that's how his private journals from him going to rehab got released, by like the two closest people to him. Wow. His manager had like a real he said like doing the interview was really therapeutic for him, because he was a young manager or agent at the time. And he says, I really realized I would have done things very differently with Grant. He's like, I was always trying to get Grant more money because I thought, that would make him happy. But Grant was already happy. He was playing the game he loved with a team that was like a second family to him. He's like, the more money would have made maybe his wife happy, maybe me more happy, but it didn't make Grant more happy. Which was a sad but refreshing thing to hear, because you really see where all sports have gone now, where they're so commercial, right? And a lot of guys, you wonder if they really love the game or if they love the contracts and the money they're getting. But Grant truly, like, we also asked him, we're like, Grant, after you'd already won 3 Stanley Cups, you're getting paid $100,000 a year. There's guys in the league getting paid $400,000. And Grant looked at us like dumbfounded. He's like, but I was playing on the best team in the world. Like, I would have done it for free, right? Like, the payment was a bonus. And you're like, oh man, that's when people like truly just love their sport, right? Like, he really played it because he loved it. So it was an interesting dynamic. We did go into the Pepsi. It just didn't make the cut. It was it's one of those things that's kind of a cool like DVD extra of how that all happened. And again, that was something Rich Winter was pushing much more than Grant. Like, the whole thing of him retiring and possibly not being able to play would have killed Grant, because Grant loves the kid. Like, he was like, okay, I'm done this thing. I want to come right back, right? He wanted to get on the ice.
Speaking of DVDs and stuff like that, what's after the whole the film route and all these premieres and stuff, what's the distribution going to be like for people who can get their hands who are not able to make it here? When can they see it? How can they obtain Making Coco?
So we are working on different things right now. So it's going to do its broadcast premiere, the short and TV cut for Sportsnet in December. We don't have the exact date yet, but that'll be like the 45-minute cut, or their traditional broadcast hour. And then the director's cut, which we have now, the 75-minute, is going to do day and date. We're going to release it on the platforms right around the same time. It's hopefully, you can't always get it exact because you release it to iTunes and they kind of have their own schedule when they push that out. For Canada anyway. Right now we're still negotiating with the US. We're out to HBO, we're out to Showtime, we're out to Netflix. So we're trying to see which one's going to pick it up, and then after its broadcast window on hopefully one of those networks, then it'll be available on all the platforms. But we're thinking early in the new year it should be released on all the various platforms and worldwide availability. So I'm sorry I don't have a more concrete answer there. We're in that weird stage as the filmmakers trying to be like, who's going to pick it up?
Yeah.
So there you
go. I know
I
got Ice Guardians on Amazon. Shipped it right to my house. It's fantastic.
And that's it. The thing with DVD now, it's so interesting with the hockey projects, because physical's like dead. You don't do it. But with hockey films, there's always a high demand for the physical, because the generation of people that like, the majority that like hockey films are like memorabilia guys. They have posters. Like, I can see in the background, you guys have like pucks and sticks and like, so a lot of people that want hockey films are like, man, I want the DVD so I can, possibly run into Grant and have him sign it. And then I have So it's one of those weird things where like, I guess we're going to have to do physical again and then put it up on Amazon. And because the way you do it now with Amazon is you actually.
I mean, I had already watched it twice before you came on the show, and I still bought the DVD. So, I mean, let's be completely honest at this point. I was going to buy the DVD no matter what. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate that. It's an interesting thing. So we're looking to do that. And the other thing that's come that we're not used to is that the poster has been in such high demand for this one that we're actually looking to bring on a memorabilia company. Because we've had like hundreds of requests to get the poster. And like nowadays, you maybe make 10 posters, you give 5 to your crew and sign 5 away or whatever. But because Grant's signing them and getting special metallic ones and limited editions, and there's a different business angle that we're not quite used to. So I was like, I got to bring in some people that know that. I know how to make great docs with my team. I don't know poster prices and signing and memorabilia. That's not my thing.
This whole marketing side of things, not really. I can tell people where it's going to be at. I can't make this stuff, guys. I'll do some crayon, whatever.
I can't be there being like, okay, like where do you live, and I'll ship the poster. And
Yeah, just give me $20.
Like, Adam, you're supposed to be on set. I'm like, sorry, I just had to ship 2 posters today.
and I'm going to be out in the parking lot for half an hour selling posters out of the trunk of my car. So.
Yeah, so it's a great problem to have, but it's a new thing we're learning. So we're looking at Pro-Am Sports here in Edmonton. They work with Grant lots. They've done a lot of memorabilia stuff, and then they'll have an online merchandising because we did a really cool thing. We have the main poster, which is like the half face and half mask of Grant, but then we also took his stuff out of the Hall of Fame, his pads, his DR pads, his mask, and his jersey, and those are just silhouetted, so you can buy like the set, or you can buy, and we're only allowed, because there's Oilers logos in 2 of them, we're only allowed to sell 10 of the mask and 10 of the jersey. So that's something that's looking at too, where those would be a high priced item signed by Grant, because the Oilers are only letting us make 10. So it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how that all pans out.
Yeah, I always like to see all the players that you have in the documentaries. Seeing Thea Fleury come out and talk a little bit about how Grant Fuhr dealt with all of the substance abuse, like, and coming back and being just as good when he came back to the league was kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean, this one was probably, I've said it in other interviews, like the easiest interview list we've ever had, because those that know Grant personally or played with him, like, the man is seriously one of the greatest guys we've worked with. He's a sweetheart of a man. He's super easy. He's honesty. Like, so everyone we called was like, oh, for Furzy? No problem. For Furzy? No problem. For Coco? No problem. Like, it was like, literally, we're like, oh, well, this is easy. Like, we'd send out a request and everybody would come back with yeses. And it was like, okay, well, shit, we can't even fit that many interviews. We're going to have to like ignore some people and just can't get back to them. And that and combine it again, circling back to Ice Guardians, kind of cumulative great work with my team, is that, you know, it would literally be like, oh, for Furzy, no problem. Who's producing it? Oh, the Ice Guardians guys? No problem. Who's directing? Don Metz, who knows? Like, it literally, we had a lineup. We went to St. Louis. I've never been treated so good. You would have thought I played for the Blues, and my team, like, we were like, they're like, so the Grant Fuhr guys. Oh, let them in. Do you guys want to shoot in the president's box? Do you want to go on the ice while they're playing? And I'm like, no. Seriously, they treated us so well down there. It was like amazing. Where we're just like, and it didn't hurt that Kelly Chase, my producing partner on Ice Guardians, is like, my whole team has worked with, you know, they've worked with all kinds of organizations in the NHL, the Flames, the Oilers, and all of us were going out for dinner. We're like, dude, have you ever? And we're like, no, we've never been treated this great. Like, St. Louis, awesome hockey town. If you guys have never been, they're actually like big Blues fans. It's a great place to go. I highly recommend it, but it was just so refreshing on this one where it wasn't a struggle. Normally it's like pulling teeth to get interviews and try to get people, and so it was refreshing to have it where it snapped together so easy for Grant on this one.
And doing this and having also done Ice Guardians as well. I'm curious as to if I may be so bold as to what your next project's going to be, sort of, you know, hockey related.
I don't know. I've got a few things coming my way. There's nothing that's like solidified yet or anything I can announce, but I've been liking this kind of rumor that people are like, hey, Scourge, you're kind of like the go-to guy for hockey projects. I'm like, I don't know about that, but I love that. I am helping Pyramid Productions right now. They're doing a Bob Probert one based on his book. I'm only helping with that one. I'm just an executive producer and consulting and stuff on it. But I'm looking at whatever. If another great hockey story comes, like I'm a big hockey fan and I love doing them. And my team has a great reputation in the NHL circle, so I'm down for whatever. But I don't have any, like, other than the Probert one, which I'm helping with. I don't have any right now that I would say that's moving forward or not.
Well, I'll tell you this, Adam. For Johnny and I, as longtime Caps fans, the summer of drunkenness would just be perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
You know what?
I was gonna.
That is
Speed of cup
congratulations
stands.
to you guys. That is, I have never been an Ovechkin fan until this year, and then the way he handled, like, for several reasons. One, the way that you saw him change his game this year, where every interview was no longer talking about him; it was talking about the team. The way that he back-checked, like, blocked shots, the way he played, it was really exciting to see him do that. And then I don't care if anybody – I love the way he celebrated. I'm so sick of the generic, there's no I in team and we just give 150%. But, like, at least just turn down the volume when players do that. I'm like, man, I want some personality in the league. I'm not saying we have to go Sean Avery style, but, like, I want some personality. So to see Ovechkin just so passionate and honest, just like, we're one, like, he's wasted. Like, I loved it. I thought it was great when he's swimming in the fountain in Vegas, and, like, I loved it. I wanted to see more guys do that. I'm like, you work your whole life as a kid to do that, and Ovechkin, I mean, shit, the guy looks like he's going on 50 with the grays that showed up in his face. Where I'm like, man, I was like, I think this guy's getting to the end of this trail that, like, it was awesome for him to see. I hope more guys take note and be like, hey, look, it worked for Ovechkin. Nobody really cared. A few people made fun of him, but who cares? Like, I hope more guys celebrate like that, to be honest. I thought it was great. And I'm sure you guys know, but I heard the story that right after, he took everybody, including, like, trainers, equipment guys, their wives. They all went out and said, this cup is for all of us, like families and everything. And the Capitals picked up the bill, a tab of some, I think, like $150,000 plus or something like that. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah. The one person that doesn't want them to party, anybody else to party like Ovechkin's Phil Pritchard. He's tired. He needs some sleep. I saw him in Dallas. He was not doing well. It was a wild time for him. Adam, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Making Coco, the Grant Fuhr story, is December-ish is going to be the short cut premiere. Everything, go to @MakingCoco on Twitter, makingcoco.com. Adam Scorgie, the EP on that. Thank you, Adam. And next time you got a project, let us know. We'll have you on again to talk about that. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. There he goes. Adam Scorgie of Making Coco. Good times overall from that perspective. I like talking to Adam. He's very good, very big insights, and always just fun to have around. So, Johnny reaching in there. You all right there, bud? John, you gonna be all right?
Yeah, just trying. I don't know.
There you go.
There we go.
Adam said he doesn't use Hangouts except for our show. So I didn't know if he knew how to get out. So I got rid of him so that we didn't show up in his basement again.
But I gotta say though, I meant it when I said, I mean, when I first saw that trailer come out, I was like, oh, what is this? So I watched it on YouTube and I was like, I have to watch this movie. He got
He's a great guy too. Like, right? Like, I mean, if you did Ice Guardians, right? And the success that came along with Ice Guardians. And now you're making something about Grant Fuhr, who never really was outspoken, but you got him to tell all these stories and everything. Yeah. Like, that would go to somebody's head. This is a guy, though, that just took a 30-minute interview on his phone in his basement so that he could talk to us again. Like,
and he's got some random kids upstairs ruining the place.
Yeah, then that may or might not even be his. Like, I feel like the next time I kind of want to know early. Like, I'll drive to Toronto for one of these things.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go back. I'll go to Alberta and we'll hang out, meet in Red Deer.
Oh man. But you definitely, though, and just watching that 2-minute trailer, you got the whole essence of that movie, running every gamut of it. And it was just like, I have to watch this. Not just because, as I said, Grant Fuhr was one of my favorite goaltenders. To me, he still to this day has the greatest glove hand of all time. Oh, nobody did the windmill glove save like he did.
And for a guy who was a reverse goaltender too, who's right-handed.
That's right. But as also Adam also pointed out, I mean, the style that he played back then, I mean, which was very much, there was no butterfly style back then. And goalies were just, and especially playing for the Oilers, he was left to fend for himself a lot of nights. A lot of nights he was hung out to dry. I mean, you see in the trailer, Paul Coffey says, you know, I don't block shots. You better get somebody who does.
Right.
You know? And with Grant Fuhr, absolutely, but. You know, like they said, sure, the final score might be like 9-6 for the Oilers or 10-7. It was just like, it didn't matter. It was like, hey, you know, it was making the saves that were going to win you the game. You know, he didn't care how many pucks went past him, you know, because he knew the guys that he had out in front of him were going to score a bunch. He knew he was going to be left alone a lot of times, but he made just incredible saves. Absolutely incredible saves. There was also one
video where he makes a save and drops the puck down after he made the save because he was on the face-off dot.
Yeah.
That's how far out of the goal he was.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, I was like, holy crap, he's 15 feet from the net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's one that he did, the one save that he makes where, I mean, you talk about like just hand-eye coordination and just presence of mind to know where you are and where the puck is. He makes a save, the puck goes straight up into the air. Most goalies would be looking around like, where the hell is it? I've lost sight of it. Where the hell is it? He's followed. He's got his eye on that baby the whole time. Straight up, down into his glove, people all around him like nothing. You know? Yeah. I mean, the guy was just impressive. And when he made his comeback, I mean, he's the last goaltender, by the way, to play 78 games in a season.
Yep.
He's the last one to
St.
do
Louis
that.
In 2000?
95-96, St. Louis, with Iron Mike Keenan at the helm. Yeah. Ooh. And there's no question in my mind that they would have beaten the Leafs in the opening round of that series if Nick Kypreos hadn't run him in the goal crease deliberately and injured him. Because that was deliberate.
Oddly enough, Nick Kypreos in this documentary too, he's listed as someone who had an interview, so I'm sure that gets broached.
I'm sure that gets brought up, but there was no question in my mind that was deliberate because in game one, Fuhr just shut them down. He was it was just lights out. And then game two, first period, I mean, he's playing great again, and Kypreos just runs him, you know, and blew out his knee, and that was the end of it for him. You know, now they still won that series and went on, and then they lost to Steve Yzerman, famously, in Detroit. But I think that maybe that series, maybe it might have been different. No offense to John Casey, who wound up taking over for Fuhr, but I really do think that series might have had a different outcome if Grant Fuhr was in goal.
1,000%, you're correct. Yeah. All right, so there you go, guys. MakingCoco.com, at MakingCoco on Twitter. Always good to have Adam on. So, Johnny, if you can cue that music.
I'm just going to say real quick, because I'm going to stall some so that I can cue music.
Thank you. That's the producer right there, folks.
I'm going to say that we talked a little bit earlier about how Doug Wilson may have secured the GM of the Year award. I'm going to say that I secured the year award tonight. I just did it. So it is. I secured the Producer of the Year award for Face Off Hockey Show. You have for the Face Off Hockey Show Media Faction. You have won Producer of the Year. Yeah. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I found the music.
See what condition my condition was in.
Yeah. What condition my condition was in.
That's me stalling well to find
beautiful.
I was not expecting. I haven't read the rundown.
No, I sent it to you right like 2 seconds before the show.
I know. I was trying to make sure that Adam knew that we were on Hangouts.
Yeah. Corey Crawford, concussion symptoms. He's nearing a return. Good for him. Connor Murphy, back injury. He's out 8 weeks, while Jamie McGinn, back surgery, out indefinitely.
Backiotomy.
Backiotomy. Things go from worse to really, what is this shit? As JG Pajot tore his Achilles, he's out at least 6 months. A minimum 6 ski.
His season's over.
Yep. Love, peace, love, peace, and hair grease. I going. The Carolina Hurricanes will be without Victor Rask for months, according to Coach Rod Brind'Amour, after he had a hand slicing incident in the kitchen of his house.
Hey, if you're gonna use
bagel?
those Ginsu knives, you're gonna use those Ginsu knives,
Those
baby.
things are too sharp.
You need an actual course on using those
Like,
bad boys.
okay, let's
How
be
he
honest.
didn't take his whole hand off, I don't know.
If we're going to Ginsu knives, because I've done this before, and this is like I was cutting a bagel, right? I'm cutting a bagel with a Ginsu knife, and I thought that I was fine. I was holding the bagel, on the bagel, and I slice half of my pinky, like, and it's just bleeding, and I have to wrap it in gauze and everything. And now the bagel's ruined because half of it's bloody. But why are they not? Can't you make something that slices bagels? That's not that sharp.
It's called a bagel slicer, buddy. Like you
But you don't want to. Why would
It's
you?
called
need
a bread knife.
yeah, bread knife. There you go.
a bread knife? It would take me 6 years to cut a bagel with a bread knife.
What bagel bread though?
What kind of bagels are you buying? It would take you
Exactly.
6 months to cut it with a bread knife.
I don't know. They're from Giant. There's a Giant
Johnny,
across the street.
Johnny, that's a rice cake.
Oh, whoops. No wonder I couldn't cut it. That's why I needed the Ginsu.
All these goddamn crumbs. What the hell's going on? Okay.
Sorry, that was a
Alright,
tangent.
no, that's perfect. Henrik Zetterberg's back injury is so bad. It's a back podcast. Holy crap. Back injury is so bad. He's retiring. The NHL doesn't think they don't think it's illegitimate, but they're going to investigate anyway because that's what they do.
It's fine. It's fine. Bill Daly's already pretty much said that. Yeah, I mean they're looking into it, but they know his back is toast. So yeah,
They allowed the allergic to my equipment retirement. That was fine. But the back is the one they have to like look into.
I know, right? I know.
I mean, come on, really? But honestly, that's the one we're doing, boys.
No, we can see his skin is blotchy and hard looking. So obviously there's a problem. Wait a minute, bad back. Well, we can't tell. You know, you were out on a golf course, Henrik, if that is your real name. We don't know you were out on a golf. You're on a golf course. How do we know you got a bad back?
This is more fodder for the wheel. Like the wheel just came up. It was like, we have to check this. And they're like, fuck, really?
Oh, come on, guys.
This couldn't have come up on the little skin issue that we had. It came up as no, everything's fine. Come on. Damn wheel.
Really, guys? This is how we're doing it? This
Wheel
is
of injury.
Oh,
It's right next to
boy.
the wheel of suspensions.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy, do I have a haha fuck you for today.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boys.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boys. It's topical.
It's topical?
It's great. It's Grant Fear's first game back in St. Louis.
Yay!
Close.
Oh.
It is Grant Fear related.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And he's back in another place, but not for the first time.
Not Edmonton.
You'll have to wait. We got another couple minutes.
Okay.
Patreon pick, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't forget about you. We're late into the show, but because we had a special executive, we also had Adam Scorgi on because see the handsome executive producer is Johnny.
Yes, that's why I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
Look how amazing I look in this Capitol.
You look actually, yeah. I immediately when I saw that, like here's me and Scotty both in t-shirts. Right away, I was regretting not wearing a shirt with a collar.
Hey, I'm staying on brand because I have my Domino Sugar shirt on. So I gotta keep that Maryland brand on because
I'm going with my no logo. There you go.
No logo. I love that shirt.
People love the Maryland Black Bears as much as we do. They're playing here in a 15 minutes or so. Anyway, the Patreon pick. Thank you all. Everything goes back in the show or goes into, I don't know, sponsorship. You can be like Matthew, Damon, Mark, Trista, Jeff, Kevin, Ethan, Chris, Mitch, Brian, Angela, or Sean. They can go ahead. Patreon.com/faceoffhockey show. They donated. You can too. Go ahead there. Help us help you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for the donations.
Listen, all the money's going into my account. Don't you guys worry. I'm going to spend it like whores and just a lot of Coke. And it's just going to be just, I just drank some Surge, quote unquote. Don't worry. It's fine.
That mic was
we had this conversation before the show. Like, I guarantee that Surge has a half-life and they just like rebranded that for 1990.
So I just, Johnny, you know what it was? You know what it was? It was actually just. Oh yeah, dude, I crushed that. You kidding me?
What's next week? What was that extra jolt? Are you gonna find a jolt for next week?
I'm gonna find a
times cola jolt.
I'm gonna find an RC cola. and I crushed that.
Those things came in a liter can. I was like, why can't you put beer in a liter can? I would drink that. Why do I need
Yeah, they do.
Why do I need a liter of 3 times Coke?
No, well, hold on. No, you get the tall boys. It's a tall boy. It's just a tall boy.
I guess. Yeah. Well, I mean, what am I getting a tall boy of? Coors Light.
This is only 16 ounces.
No, the Jolts. The Jolts were massive.
Oh yeah, no, the Jolts were fan. Oh, you're talking about the Surge. By the way, Surge is just smell yellow, kids. Just fancier.
All the calories.
The Jolts are just hipster Red Bull.
That's true. All right. This week we talked. We asked some things. We're going to talk about our fantasy hockey league and all the dumb bullshit we do. We're going to talk about that next week. Still time to join up to the FOHSHL. It's FHL.
We can get Lyle's reaction to this because he hasn't heard any of this at all.
Yeah, we'll do it after we do the Patreon pick. I'll bring up the stats. Teams with the biggest rebuilds, past and present, was our winner. Boy, howdy. And topical too, because man, Ottawa, when they move to Quebec City, they better be really good. They're not gonna everything less will be uncivilized.
Well, they can go to the province of rebuilding because Montreal's rebuilding too. So there you go. Yabba
and then a few years ago, Edmonton. Well, Edmonton's in year 14 of a 5-year
the never-ending rebuild. Yes,
they had one hit. But here's the thing: is that team from not last year, 2 years ago in 2017 that actually made the playoffs? Was that the Mirage, or was the not playoffs after making the playoffs the Mirage? We'll find out more. But Lyle, in the history, and you would know this more than anybody.
Okay,
of us three.
No.
I think you mean because you're older.
Yes.
Older and knows more about trades and rebuilding and such.
Oh, okay.
Biggest rebuild you've ever seen in the history of your hockey life?
Wow.
It's a tough one. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Oh, my Lord. Because
while you're thinking, Chris says the New York Rangers.
The Rangers never rebuild.
he just said every year.
They retool. They just retool. They don't rebuild. Late 80s.
A Rangers fan at all.
Late 80s Quebec Nordique. That was a pretty massive teardown.
That was a big one, yeah.
That was huge. This was a team that was a perennial playoff team for something like 6-7 years in a row, and then they just decided, right, we're dumping everybody, and we're going to rebuild. But that worked out well because they got a whole bunch of great players out of all that too. Guys like Sakic and Sundin.
They did really great in Colorado.
Yes, and it was Colorado that reaped the rewards.
No, I'm still pissed with that Joe Sakic trade because while the Caps got Dale Hunter, they lost out on Joe Sakic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I would say Pittsburgh in the early aughts. So that was done more just because they were losing money. I mean, yeah, they brought back Mario. Mario came back basically to kind of keep the team out of bankruptcy because then they lost Yager and they'd already, They got rid of so many players. I mean, for draft picks that never worked out to be anything. Chris Beach,
can't miss Chris Beach.
Yeah,
can't miss though. Can't miss that guy.
Can't miss, kid. So that one was pretty big. I wanted to say the Oilers around 2009, 2010, but was that really a rebuild?
Well, I mean, what was it? Probably a month ago at this point, we talked about how the concept of rebuild doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot more considered retooling. Yeah. I definitely think, though, what Ottawa's doing now could be considered on par with massive friggin' rebuild. I think this is bigger than when they did their rebuild back in, was it 2011, when they traded away Mike Fisher and Chris Kelly, and, I think this is way bigger than that. And I would say what Montreal's been doing since last year, Bergevin may not call it a rebuild. Everybody else does. You can't fool us. That's what you're doing, son. And it's another year of pain. So, yeah. So just those off the top of my head.
Johnny, you have any you think of offhand?
Well, so the ones that I remember are obviously the Caps.
Sure.
I mean, they traded away everybody, basically. Peter Bondra,
Matt Yeats was the goaltender.
I mean, everybody that you knew from that '98 team was gone by 2003, I think it was.
No, Kolzig left in 09.
Yeah, he was there for a while. But Bonja left in
Bonja
06.
I guess so.
No, Bonja left in 04 because
okay.
that's how Brooks Light came in.
Right.
Yager was before that.
Yeah. Went to the Rangers.
Then everyone else just like I don't know, like
That's when Chris Beach was on the Caps.
right. Chris Beach came back on the Caps and then got lost again to waivers to the Penguins, but got game back to the Caps.
Yeah.
Basically, though,
and that's when the Caps drafted Chris Bork, which is effectively the second coming of Chris Beach.
But the start of the Ovechkin era was pretty much by that point also your 98 Cup finalist team. By that point, most of those guys are pretty much gone. You still had Kolzig, but pretty much everybody else.
Colson was Kolzig, pretty much.
Kolzig and Witt, I think, was still on that team.
That was it. Yeah,
and
at the start of the because so by that point,
he wasn't on that 98 team.
No, he wasn't. He was with the Flyers then. But I would have to say though that's a good point though, Johnny, what you were saying, because once the start of the Ovechkin era really was the midst of the big teardown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the year before.
And I would say like early 2000 Buffalo Sabres.
That's a
good one.
Trading away Hasek, after like Ryan Miller not being there anymore.
Well, Drury
that
and
team
Briere
is junk for a while, and now they're just starting to come back through.
So, well, I mean, actually, they did it twice when you think about it, because there was the early aughts, right, where they trade away Hasek, and then there was like about 4 years there they were really crap, and then 05, 06, and 06, 07, those 2 years, they were like among the best team in the league. I think they were the best team in the Eastern Conference those 2 years, or one of the best. And then, as you said, then about, I'd say, 5-6 years ago, once they traded away Ryan Miller, that's when they really started tearing it down again.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So Chris just says, Scotty, that's a sweet cup. So he likes your cup. Eddie's chimed in. He's a Sabres fan, and he's very happy that the Sabres got mentioned. But he does say, "Come on, we were great in the '70s." So
they were. I was 12 years old when they went to the Stanley Cup final in '75, and people were expecting them to go back a lot more often after that, and it just never really happened. Because, part of it was because, of course, the Montreal Canadiens were a dynasty and stood in their way, but they had a damn good team back in the mid to late '70s. French Connection line, Gilbert Perreault. Yeah.
I got this cup at a live event last time they were in Grand Forks.
Nice.
It was a good time. Everybody's down there.
Hey, Samoa Joe's in there. Awesome.
I love
That's
Joe.
a good souvenir. That's a good souvenir soda cup.
That is.
I got this souvenir soda for the Caps from the Stanley Cup Finals, and all it is like, hey, we're in the Stanley Cup Finals, and here's the Stanley Cup logo. Cool, thanks.
Here's the biggest ripoff too, or the biggest gimmick going, and I expected this from the wrestling show. You bought the cup. You had to also buy a beverage with it too. You bought the cup separately, and you bought from the beverage, and they just give you a bottled beverage. It's like, I don't know, put that in there. Sure,
interesting.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I mean, at least you haven't shown up yet with the Royal Rumble chair, so I mean,
True.
it could be worse.
For me, the Blackhawks of the mid 2000s, that tear down and rebuild back up, which turned out to be aces for them because they won 3 Stanley Cups in 5 years.
Yep.
So, but the end years of dollar bill Wirtz just all
they were brutal.
Everything just all the garbage going on there, and then luckily Patrick Kane and Taves come in. They put the TV on every time the team plays, which is fantastic, even when they're at home. That's a build that's actually a breakdown that actually worked quickly.
Yeah,
in that kind of formation.
They also had some pieces in place too by that point as well, because they had drafted Duncan Keith before that. Yes. Duncan Keith, I think Duncan Keith, I believe, played I may be mistaken, but I think his first season was the last active season under dollar bill Wirtz.
I think so, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Before he went to build his spruce moose.
Did you get the chat that I just sent, Scotty?
Let me check real quick. Abdul the Butcher not on the cup. Have been great. The problem is it'd be The thing is Abdullah Butcher does have his own cup, but it bleeds all the time. It's a bleeding. It always condensates. There's a fork stuck in it. It's very weird. It's a weird cup.
Abdullah the Butcher, though, away from the ring, supposedly one of the most gentlemanly people encountered. So says Mick Foley.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well,
he's a good voice.
Yeah, actually, exactly.
Mick is
pretty cool guy. Yeah.
All right. Well, if we don't have any more, once, twice. All right, here we go. Thank you. Patreon pick, patreon.com/faceoffhockeyshow. And might have something new coming up for the season.
Oh.
Who's to say? Scotty's got some ideas, and if you want the extra stuff and you want him to do more things, because he's got full podcast already, don't know why he's talking like this. But,
it's the helium kids.
Right? Yeah, there might be something coming to Patreon exclusive things. Patreon exclusive content. Hooray. So
yeah.
All right. Some other news. This is something that got sent to me like 15 times. Tyler Seguin in a video game announces his 8-year extension.
That was pretty cool.
Vice did a thing about it. They did an oral history about it. It was 10 hours after it happened.
Man, oh man. Okay,
man,
Vice. Thank you.
Social media works quick.
Whew. Wowzers.
I did like. And I'm guessing I'm just going to attribute this to Scotty at this point because let's be honest, I really follow like 8 people on Twitter. But the video came out and like it was retweeted, and somebody wrote, "Did it take so long to hear about this because we were waiting for the video to be made?"
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's funny is I believe I saw a video. They did a kind of video like this early in the summer. I'm like, did they just play us for a long con? Like, is this? Do these people need to work for WWE to see how a storyline writes out? That's fantastic.
Oh man. Yeah.
8 years, Lyle. Good deal, bad deal, no deal.
Oh hey, they had to do it. They had to do it. It was going to take big bucks to do it. He actually, I think, left a little bit of money on the table because he could have pulled. He could have pulled in 11 mil a season easily on the open market. Easily.
But the best part, this is tax free.
Oh yeah. So that's why he's willing to take that 9.875 mil a season because didn't know taxes in Texas.
Nope.
So that's all his. But they had to do it. This is a team that they want to be a Stanley Cup contender, and they need their #1 center to do it. And yeah, I wasn't surprised by it, and a little surprised that again how less they paid, but again taxes and all that. He left a little bit of money on the table, but. Yeah, the Stars are signaling that they're going for it, and that they, see themselves as being in the Stanley Cup contender picture here. So, having Seguin in there, yeah, had to be done. Going right.
The really good part about the entireness is I remember we were talking about it last week, and Lyle said we'll hear more about the Erik Karlsson trade when we find out what's happening with Tyler Seguin. So I didn't really watch a whole lot, and I pull up my phone and I see the Tyler Seguin video, and like 3 tweets higher is Erik Karlsson gets traded. I was like, what in the fuck just happened?
Perfect.
I was like, my God, was he actually waiting on this? Because Lyle was dead on right.
Yeah,
at least I was right to get traded. I was wrong where I thought he was more likely to go.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'll take that. Thank you,
other deals to be had. Darnell Nurse signs a 2-year extension. I think this is Griffin Reinhart of the Sabres. Sam, close. One of the Reinharts signed a 2-year extension with the Sabre as well. Nick Schmaltz signed a 2-year extension or 2-year deal with the Blues.
Morrissey.
Oh yeah, Morrissey.
Somebody new on the chat as well. Hockey Guy 43 says Tyler Seguin is great.
There you go. He's not wrong. Morrissey signed on with Robert Smith. The Cure is coming back, everybody. Josh Morrissey. Sorry.
Yeah. And
Morrissey.
wrong band. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. What band was he? I don't remember.
Morrissey, the Smiths.
Robert
Smith with the Cure. Yeah. Anyway. You're close.
That's a shame.
Hold on, that's messed up. How is the guy named Smith not with the Smiths?
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly.
Justin Williams named captain of the Hurricanes, and then also mentioned that he would be willing to pay off people reaching into his own pockets for fans who have the Captain C added to any jersey they have previously bought of his. So that's
nice.
pretty dope. Runs through the home opener.
Interesting trivia as well on opening night of the Black Bears. They had a trivia game during one of the stoppages in play, and came out that Justin Williams played in the NAHL.
Yes,
there you go.
Lot of kids play in the NAHL. Like the NAHL is now, especially with the way the U.S. hockey, U.S. NTDB is the development teams playing. NAHL has been a big source for that. Same with the USHL. So very cool. We see a lot of kids getting drafted out of the NAHL and then going to college. So pretty cool. A couple third jerseys came out. One rumored. Boston Bruins possibly going back to the Ray Bourque era third jerseys, not the Bruin one, but the black one with the Cam Neely. That's the one I was thinking of, the Cam Neely style black jersey. The Blue Jackets are bringing back the cannon. No truth to the rumor that Boomer will also come back. Sadly, we have not had a confirmation or a denial, so we will have to wait out on that. All right, Lyle. Let's talk about.
There's probably a weird cannon dick on wheels joke in there somewhere that I can't figure out how to make. So
also the Hurricanes are bringing back their third jerseys with the Colorado Rockies area thing, the Rockies quote unquote tribute thing.
Hold on. So the Hurricanes have 4 jerseys?
No. He meant Colorado.
I'm sorry,
Avalanche.
the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great if the
If they did.
Wow, Carolina.
The Hurricanes are like, screw it, we're gonna wear
amazing.
Other to the hell of it.
Yeah. We're gonna trick ourselves into being good. The Winnipeg Jets unveiled their third jerseys as well.
And that did not go down well with the fan base.
Ooh, that was
painful.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to meet the 6-year-old that put it together, though.
Jets are good, Jets.
And thankfully, CBC coming through in a clutch with a great breakdown of the jersey, gentlemen. If I may show this to you via Scotty Screen Share, brought to you by no one. So here we go. The Aviators jersey, which is a modern retro. It's modern Addy Zero with leading edge tech features. A classic design. I don't know why they're putting to the upper bicep area. Whatever.
Classic design. Look, there's nothing here.
Stripe template inspired by the 90s Winnipeg Jets. It's got aviator blue, which is almost like exclusive gray.
Oh, God. If Adidas starts naming all the colors, I'm in. I cannot wait until the Caps come out with their Rock the Red home jerseys, because oh my God, I might have to buy another one because it'll be slightly different than the red jersey they currently have, I'm sure.
It'll actually be Budweiser red because that's what they were
Budweiser
drinking. Red. A new take on the word mark, which it kind of resembles what they had when they started in the WHA a little bit. Kind of.
No. Like if they had gone with the old vintage WHA when they had in the early years, I would have been okay with that. Would have, at least that logo would have saved this. I do not like this.
And we are True North in the collar, because everything has to be in the collar now.
Whippity doo. No, sir, I don't like it.
Yeah, no,
the reaction on the chat says that it's not bad, but it's bland.
It's very bland.
That's part of it. Yeah.
I quote it. I said as much, being the comic genius that I am, and just ask me, I'll tell you that I am. I said, no, waiter, please take this back. It's not done.
Well, the lettering too. If you glance at it really quickly, it looks like Gets. It looks like Gets.
Oh,
Gets.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
yeah.
or the lettering would look like from like the cartoon Gem.
Well, it's like the
holograms.
Yeah, that's a great pull, by the way.
Thank you.
It's almost like the Lethbridge. Remember the Lethbridge Hurricane?
Yes.
Cease and desist jerseys they had.
Yes, you're right.
I'm gonna say that I mark this Jets jersey up higher because they had it to themselves.
I guess. So
I mean, aviator blue. I've never heard of it before. So
it's true.
If that's the way Adidas is going, I'm all in. I I can't wait until Annapolis Navy comes out on the third
there you
jersey
go.
for the
There you
kids.
go. There it
Oh,
is. There it is.
No,
Yes.
Academy Navy.
Yo,
That's
oh,
what it is.
even
Academy
better.
Navy.
Even better.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
oh.
Academy Navy. I would definitely support Academy Navy.
And Lyle, that's how the people in Annapolis sound like. It's
Uh,
fantastic.
Eddie says that jersey looks like it's half Jetsons.
And if you don't remember the cease and desist jerseys, here they are. The Lethbridge Hurricanes cease and desist jerseys from 2011.
We are
where they
totally not ripping off an NHL
fucking
franchise.
ripped off the. And again, this is not the first time the Hurricane. First off, it looks like
Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes.
No, it's Hurricanes.
Hurricanes. There you go. Even better. Hurricanes.
Hurricanes. God,
God.
heaven.
Poor Lethbridge. Oh man.
And then back in the day, I had to search and bring this up. It might be a while, but like in the 1980s, they ripped off the Capitals too. Like it was like like they
What
don't have
is
an original
wrong with you? God, yeah.
Like,
Maybe there's only the VHS tapes they could get.
maybe. I got two, and then I got two great ones for you guys of the Hurricane. Lethbridge Hurricanes could be possibly the most ripping team that rips off the most.
The biggest copyright infringers in junior hockey history.
So here's from the early 90s, Jamie McLennan era. So that's just
come on.
That's egregious. Like that's not even close.
I mean, you could have tried and at least taken the stars out.
Why exactly? Why are the
Well,
stars?
come
on.
Okay, I get it. I understand, right? There were a lot of teams, a lot of men's league teams that get template jerseys for different like teams, and then they put their logos on it. It just happened to be a junior league where a lot more people see it.
And you got to remember
they're trying to sell these, so
and
that's probably the problem.
And this was what, early 80s? She said.
No, this is like late 80s, early 90s.
Oh my God! They should have known Washington was a good team. I could have seen it was the early '80s, and Lethbridge is going, "Oh, nobody's going to notice Washington tucked away down there. Nobody cares." Right. But yeah, that's pretty.
And then this jersey from after that, during Brent Seabrook era, completely ripping off the Tasmanian Devil. It's very small. Yeah. So here's a better picture of it. So there you go, ripping off the Tasmanian Devil. In the biggest way possible.
Oh boy!
These are Nike jerseys.
In charge of their marketing department there. Like, who looked at this and thought this was a good idea?
This is fine. And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. Oh, damn it! You can't see the pants. The pants have the stars and stripes down it like the Caps do.
No, you can see it.
Yeah,
you can see
but
it.
in reverse order.
That is insane. What the hell were they thinking? They weren't thinking.
And then here's the red one.
Oh man! When you just
control.
They just didn't care.
No, they just stopped caring.
They're like, whatever, piss on it. We'll have them wear it this season. Once all the legal stuff's sorted out, then maybe we can have different jerseys sorted out.
And to be fair,
they went to their local hockey shop and they were like, "How many jerseys do you have in here?" And they're like, "Well, we've got a whole team set of these." They're like, "We'll take them."
What's their current logo?
Well, hold on. Well, here, to be fair, the template was stolen by the Windsor Spitfire too. So
kind of not as egregious as what the Lethbridge did. But
who was the team that had the gray jerseys with the light blue and white and the pirate face? They were
the Milwaukee Admirals.
Yes, those were the best jerseys ever created.
So here's their jerseys now. It's just the H, but still the Caps templated design.
Yeah, but at least
not as bad.
Not as bad.
No.
That one you're not going to run into any risk of copyright infringement. Oh my God, that's just wow.
I like how Milwaukee Bucks jersey is the first thing that came up on.
Are you looking about which this one here, Johnny, with the little Brewers logo there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There you go.
That one might be the best jersey ever.
I like that one. That one's nice. I actually like this one better. The you can see his
the full body. Yeah.
He's using
I
his
might
leg.
have to see if I can get any of those on eBay. I might need one of them.
Oh, I'm sure you do. You can. Using his leg as a
I'm sure you do.
I'm sure you do.
I'm sure you need one of those.
Sure you do. I'm sure you do one. He's using his leg as a stick. It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, that's fancy. I don't know who
That's
that
a
is.
5-star. That's a 5-star general.
It looks like the New Zealand Ice Hockey League. So that's pretty good for them. All right. Guys, what was the oh, by the way, Lyle, can we address Bobby Ryan running away to Idaho to get away from all the trade rumors? Like, that story could be the greatest thing ever. It's like, yeah, like
do they not have the internet in Idaho?
I guess not.
No, I've been to the top part of Idaho trying to get to Washington. They have signs out saying living off the grid, get your stuff here. So there could be a lot of people living off the grid up there. Bobby Ryan might have been one of them.
I think he found himself a quiet sprawling ranch somewhere where he could just hunker down and enjoy the peace and tranquility.
Absolutely. All right, Lyle, talking about bullshit scoring. So here's our scoring
system
for the Face Off Hockey Show Hockey League.
Okay.
Still spots available if you want it, everybody. Go tag, you know how to get to us. So here we go. Goals. Off to a good this is just for forward and defensemen.
Off to a great start.
Goals are good.
Assist.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So far, so good.
Penalty minutes.
Pims. Yeah, that could be kind of controversial, but yeah.
Oh, Lyle, that's been in for years. Nope. This is not even the most bullshit.
Just wait for it.
Just wait for it. Power play points, shorthanded points, game-winning goals.
Mm-hmm.
Face-offs won.
Okay.
Hits.
Yeah.
Blocks.
Okay.
And my favorite, shooting percentage.
Oh, dagger in the heart, man. Dagger in the heart. Oh, great. So you're going to get some fourth line plugger who, oh, look, he's got a 75% shooting percentage. Yes, he's taken 10 shots on goal his entire 4 games that he played, but 7 of them were actually on goal.
Exactly.
He's the guy. He's my winner right there.
Shooting percentage. And then for goaltenders, we got wins, goals against, save percentage, and shutouts. But,
all of that stuff was fine, but the shooting percent, what? No Corsi? No Corsi 4?
We're not going advanced stats. Fuck those guys.
You pretty much are when you're doing shooting percentage.
That's not an advanced stat.
Somebody
can calculate that on a calculator.
Former
it's
host
just
of the
shots taken divided by goals.
Former host of the show, Mark with a C. God bless him. He suggested time on ice. So if we could have had a time on ice stat, we could have put time on ice on there.
Time on ice still be better than shooting percentage.
But
even so, still, Jesus, you're gonna have some real bums logging high.
No. We stopped that because we're only allowing 5 transactions a week.
Oh man,
yeah, it's 5 per week. So
even Pims can be a little controversial. Can be a little.
Well, that's why you have one goon and away you go.
Yeah. But even now, when you don't have real goons anymore, it's kind of what's the point, But anyway.
Yep. So we got that going for us.
The other one's totally with you on that. Yeah.
Sure. Hits and blocks were one. I'm just like, meh.
Sure. Hits and blocks are good. You can get yourself a pretty good, goddamn good player if you got a guy who's got decent scoring and hits and blocks.
But
a few Pims in there.
Lyle, this was all in line with the new sponsorship of the NHL, Jägermeister, the official shot of the NHL.
Jägermeister, for those of you who want your booze to taste like cough medicine,
which makes all those ads running during the games down here that much more unbearable because they're going to be tenfold. However, it brought out great lines. Sean Leahy said 4 years ago, Mumps had that title of official shot of the NHL.
That was one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
My favorite one though is Down Goes Brown. Chris Johnson said Jägermeister now the official shot of the NHL. I'm not kidding. Down Goes Brown quote tweets that and says, "But the nerdy kid who can't handle his liquor will insist that attempted shots are just as important." So
that's a good
take
one.
that, you coursey twats.
Ooh.
Listen,
oh my god. There's a reason why Jägermeister is done for shots because it tastes fucking horrible.
It's not great.
It's
not the best.
Terrible. It's like
Eddie asked if there was an official weed of the NHL.
Oh, you laugh. Herculean blue, motherfuckers.
Wow.
Haven't heard of it? That's because
Can I fit into a youth large, extra large jersey?
What's that?
Can I fit into a youth large?
Oh yeah,
easily.
So you can absolutely.
Again, I should
look at that right there. It's a youth large.
Well, that could be a little tight because it is the tighter material from Reebok.
Yeah. I like I said, I'm really in no position really to bust Johnny on his height because I'm only maybe a couple inches taller than you.
Well, see, the funny thing is I'm in that weird. If I was on the dating scene, I would put my height up to 6 foot instead of being 5'11", because 5'11's got an onus on it, just like because 5'11 not short doesn't seem tall.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Johnny P knows my struggle.
I write in mine. I write 5'3", 5'6" with the afro.
Perfect. All right, let's get to it.
Okay.
What was the range we were staying out of?
We were staying out of the late 90s, I think we said, because that's when
I thought you meant the Dufferin. I was
no.
We're staying out of the Dufferin.
No, I think you said you were staying out of the late 90s because Johnny was in college then.
Is 96 suffice?
That's fine. Who cares?
Right,
okay.
I will spare you Grant Fuhr's last game.
Okay.
April 8th, 2000, between the Oilers and the Flames, when you may be able to get 6 people.
Wow.
Spoiler alert, Mike Menard was the goalie for the Oilers.
Okay. Spoiler alert, Grant Fuhr didn't play.
He did. He only played 18 minutes because they pulled him after letting up 2 goals and 7 shots. Or he got injured. I don't know.
Poor guy.
But that means we're going to go to Grant Fuhr's last game during his 79-game run.
79 games. That's what it was. Yes.
April 14, 1996.
My God.
I know, eh?
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second real quick. 79 games. Did he just walk in one night and be like, yeah, I don't feel like playing this back-to-back? And they're like, all right, kid, you're in.
Here you go, John Casey.
That was Mike Keenan basically riding Fuhr just for all he had.
God.
That year, the
best part is that they only played 75 games that season.
Here's the funny thing. They had 4 goalies that year. So Grant Fuhr played 79 games. John Casey got into 9 games, I guess, in relief. Pat Jablonski got into 1 game.
Oh, Jablonski.
But there was one man who is second on this list. Second on this list to Grant Fuhr in games played that season.
Wow.
That's right. Bruce Racine got into 11 games.
Is he the emergency goalie?
Yeah, no, he was their backup. Bruce Racine played in 11 games. Boy, howdy. All right. So we're going to go to the last game in a 79-game regular season. It was the last game of the regular season. April 14, 1996, the St. Louis Blues and the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago
Blackhawks.
Here you go, boys. Johnny P, we'll start with you.
In 1996.
18-18, 1-1. I will give you a layup if you want to take it, Johnny.
I'll go with Grant Fuhr.
Grant Fuhr on the board.
Yeah, come on.
Because you didn't say that.
If this was fantasy sports, he'd be in the lead. Like if it was our fantasy hockey league, one shot.
Yeah, because my shooting percentage is massive right now.
You should see his Corsi 4.
It's more like a Corsi 8. Anyway, Penis. What do you got?
Are you
Lyle?
talking about from the waist down?
Okay, so so we're talking. That's why they call him tripod.
Hey,
Hey-o. Okay, 95, 96 Blues, correct?
yes, sir.
Oh my, so many to choose from. I'm going to take the easy one on lazy layup. I'm going to say Wayne Gretzky.
Boom on the board.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Wayne Gretzky. What was that? The season and a half that he was in?
Oh,
Yes.
it's the half season.
Half season. Yeah.
Half season. Wow.
Yeah.
Brett Hall.
Board.
Board, of course. on
Hey,
the
2 for
board.
2, Johnny P.
There he is.
Shooting
Percentage
100.
is out of the park. now.
There it is. Okay,
Can I
I'm gonna look
pass the rest of the time?
Yeah.
Okay, Chicago. Picking me Chris Chelios.
Board. I had to find him.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I had to scroll down a little bit.
What is it in order by years played? Is that why?
Yeah. Wow, this guy started in BC 150. Even then, he called Karhowski a prick. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't know why I said
Weird.
it like a Boston accent. Karhowski's in goal. He's a referee for the day. Sully. Anyway. I don't know what that accent was. I apologize. Johnny.
Ed Belfour.
Board.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact on this game: Ed Belfour made 50 saves.
Sweet Jesus. Holy crap.
We got Brett Hall and Wayne Gretzky shooting at you. Why wouldn't you?
True. Chicago. Okay. Still thinking Chicago. Jeremy Roenick?
Haha, fuck you. Nope.
Oh!
He was with the Coyotes at that point, I believe.
Oh.
Dang.
Johnny P, can you keep the perfect game alive?
Keep that shooting percentage up.
Nope. Dallas Drake.
Ooh.
Haha, fuck you. Sorry. I had no Dallas Drake.
I was going to say, that sounded like a pretty good pull.
I want to say he was on the Coyotes too, for some reason. Because he was on that last team of the Jets.
Wow. Okay, I'm still sticking with Chicago. Hang on.
Wait, 95, 96 was the last year of the Jets. Wait, no, we were talking about yeah. So I guess Roenick was injured.
You're confusing me.
I'm confusing myself.
Wow. Okay. Chicago.
Okay.
95-96 Chicago.
Sure. Still here.
Gary Suter.
Haha, fuck. Oh! It's a haha, fuck you and me. He is on the board.
Yeah!
He's the last one rostered by name.
So the whole thing. So he got it. He got it in. He was able to correct himself.
Ooh, I don't know how many more Blackhawks I'm going to get now. That one I thought I was.
That's bordering. Johnny?
Steve Larmer.
Oh, what's that?
Steve Larmer.
Haha, fuck you. He is not.
There goes my shooting percentage.
Yeah, whole lot of Hall of Famers and Stanley Cup winners still on this board, folks.
And I just got one, I think. I hope.
Okay.
Sticking with Chicago. Denny Savard.
Board.
He came back to them that year.
Yep.
We have two from the chat.
Chat, what do you got?
Chat. Go chat.
Chris Haas. Chris would like to add Tony Amonte.
Board.
Ooh,
AJ
nice.
would like to add Bernie Nichols.
Board.
Holy shit.
And Eddie would like to add Dirk Graham.
Good pull, no board. Haha, fuck you.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I knew Graham wasn't with him by that point. Yeah.
Love a Dirk
2 out
Graham
of 3
pull,
ain't bad.
But still, 2 out of 3. They're excellent on the chat tonight.
Yeah, good job, Chappie. I think it's a Johnny. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's Johnny.
Bernie Nichols is a deep cut too. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Adam Oates.
Ooh. Haha, fuck you. No,
Yeah,
sir.
not a whole notes there. Yeah.
He was Boston.
Bernie Nichols, who did he play for?
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. I don't know if he was with the team yet or not. I'm thinking, okay, because this is definitely late '90s Chicago. I'm gonna say Eric Daze.
On a podcast where we talk a lot about the back, he's on the board.
Yes.
Wow.
He was on the team at that point.
He got an assist. He got an assist on that one.
Ah.
Okay, so Eddie would like to redeem himself.
All right.
Okay.
He would like to go with Doug Gilmore.
Eddie, no. Haha, fuck you again. Gilmore was.
He has another one though.
Okay, what is the third time's a charm?
Third time's a charm.
Who was it, John?
Bob Probert.
Bob Probert.
There you go.
Yeah,
there
good
you
work.
go.
Bob Probert had a goal in this game, 100% shooting percentage.
There you go.
So that
Yeah,
would
because Dougie Gilmore
AJ says that this is his wheelhouse.
Oh yeah,
So-
I bet.
Oh.
Well, I mean, let's be completely honest. This was probably right around the time that Florida Jesus met Chris Chelios. So this is this is the before Chelios time period, right? Right around
Yeah.
'96.
Yeah.
By the way, I did the math.
This guy has small hands. Because he's Keith Carney. Smells like cabbage as well.
Keith Carney on the board. Good pull.
I added the
Wow.
cabbage part.
As you should have. By the way, I've done the math on this show. We're well above our 30% chance of hockey. I think we've almost done a full hundy.
I think we've done the full thing. I don't seem to recall us jabbering about very much.
So that means
otherwise.
next week, everybody.
Next week, you're fucked.
Oh,
Next week,
it's terrible.
10% hockey, 90%. I'm gonna
You
be
are getting nothing but Oyo talk. Like it's
Oyo,
going to be.
Oyo talk, and I'll be regaling you with tales of my trip to the PEI Brewing Fest.
I can't wait.
Ooh.
I can't wait until it's actual Oyo's talking though. It's not
Oh,
Oyo
that's gonna
talk.
be great.
It's like
Well, we've
it's like
had
Vinny
an Oyo
Venetti
talk.
comes on and he's like, let me tell you about the summer. And then like Scotty goes into like a 30-minute rant about how he partied all summer. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, we have had Stan talk on the floor.
And then the big Stan Oyo comes in and goes, yeah, you filthy Rusky, get the hell out of here. That sort of thing.
Did you go to Key West with those flip flops, son? Anyway,
Anyway,
I think
I'm going
we're-
to shift gears.
who are we at? Johnny is.
I think it's Lyle's turn.
Yeah, it's
All
my
right,
turn
so
now.
it's Lyle's
It's my
turn.
turn now.
It's
Lyle's
turn now.
I'm kind of drawing a blank on Blackhawks, so I'm going to shift gears, shift back over to the Blues, and I'm going to say Chris Pronger.
Bored with Mr. Chris Pronger.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny.
No, damn it.
Mm.
That was a good thought, but it's not right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
At least I caught myself though.
Okay, that's good.
I was gonna say Scott Stevens, but I know he wasn't there.
No, good catch.
Oh,
Good
definitely
catch.
not.
That was like year 2 of that's when they picked Nolan Baumgartner in the first round with that acquired pick the Caps did.
Yeah, but the Caps had like 45 picks from that
Yeah.
from that signing.
God, was that dog shit.
Oh.
Wow. The chat is on fire right now, which kind of
Wow.
sucks because this means that I can't think while they're sending me store stuff. I'm gonna cover this
Jesus.
chat for a little while. I'm gonna go with. Damn it! I'm so out of this right now. It I think I named most of the people that I know. It sucks. Dominic Hasek. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I'm gonna go to the chat real quick because again I'm out. Eddie would like to add Al McGinnis to the mix,
Bored. 10.
Oh, that's who I was going to say next.
which is probably somebody I would have said.
10 of,
That's
10 of the 52 shots taken against Ed Belfour were from
so
Al.
that's why I had to cover it up because I was like, damn it, now these are people that I could have said.
Yeah.
Shit.
AJ would like to go with Eric Weinrich.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Deep cut, not there. Sorry.
Oh,
I think he was at Philly still at that point.
Oh, that one hurts.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna pass. I'll come back.
All right, keep that
I
safe.
need to definitely.
Okay.
I need to cover this though because I can steal their picks and
Yeah.
just say that they were mine and like delete them from the chat because I can do that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Vicious.
Well, I gotta get something right at some point.
That's true.
I was 4 for 4, and now I'm like 4 for 18.
Oh man. Fuck. I've hit the wall, guys.
Oh
Like,
no.
Holy shit. Hang on. Let me think. Oh, what the hell? I mean, Mike Keenan was coaching the Blues then. He liked grabbing former Oilers. Glenn Anderson.
He'll split the 3 shots that he has for other 3 shots and another 3 shots. He's on the board.
Oh my God. Really? Because all I'm thinking now is what ex-Oilers could.
Why did they
Mike
always get
Keenan.
traded in packs? Like that
I-
was.
Because that was what Mike Keenan did. Remember, he brought a shit ton of them to the Rangers.
Lyle,
and
I'm
then
looking
he brought
at-
a
I'm looking at
shit
this-
ton to the
I'm looking at
Blues.
I'm looking at this fucking list. There's at least 3 other guys who played on the Oilers. 4
You're
other
kidding.
guys, 5 other guys who played on the Oilers.
Oh, okay. Okay. Here we go.
Johnny.
Oh.
All right.
Go.
Alexei Zhitnik.
Oh, so close. No.
Ah.
So close. There is a Z name on here.
We have
There's
so we have 2 more on the chat. Jesus.
Oh,
Guys are
go
nuts
ahead.
right now.
Go ahead.
John Cullen.
Oh, no.
From Eddie.
Sorry, Eddie. That's
Eddie
way
would
too
also
early.
like, Murray Craven from AJ.
Is he there?
No.
No. Oh.
He's not there, but it's close.
And then I love the this typo is fantastic because he wrote in here that he wanted to put in Charlie Huggy, but it's actually Charlie Huddy. He fixed it, but Charlie Huggy Bear would be fantastic.
Listen, I'm not saying what I'm not saying, but I'm just saying I'm on that board. Charlie Huddy on the board.
Charlie Huddy.
Charlie
on the board.
Huggy.
Okay, Charlie Huggy. You said a Murray, right?
I did. I didn't
Murray-
say first or last name.
Murray Barron.
Oh.
Okay, Murray Burns on the board. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. And I think I'm going to have another one after this one. I'm going to have another one after, and then I'll explain why afterwards. Go ahead.
This is crap. Oh,
What's up, Johnny?
I don't know anymore. I did so well naming the people that I knew.
I know,
right?
The guy who was in a Mighty Ducks movie still on this list.
Oh.
There's 2 former Capitals still on this list.
What?
3 former Capitals still on this list. 4 former Capitals still on this list. Like they keep adding up. I'm like, oh yeah, no, he played here for 15 games.
And 4 former Oilers too, right?
Craig Janney.
Sorry.
Actually, that's not a bad one.
What a fucking fool, Craig Janney. No, he's not.
Well, you said Capitals player, so I
He
put
didn't
there.
play for the Caps. You're thinking Andrew
That was
Caps.
the first person I thought of.
Okay. Now, I owe the last one that I picked to Scotty because he said Murray, and right away that reminded me that there was a Murray Barron, and that also reminded me of Shane Corson with the Blues.
Board.
Yeah,
Board.
because the very next year, Barron and Corson got traded to Montreal for not Sylvain Turgeon, Pierre Turgeon. Yep,
Nice.
that's how I remembered him. Thank you, Scotty.
Yeah, no problem. I'm here to help.
Whew. Now I got to figure out who the ex-Oilers are.
All right, you got a couple more ex-Oilers, got a couple more ex-Capitals, and a former star of the Mighty Ducks.
AJ would like to add another one.
Please.
Steve Smith.
Oh, you took me.
You didn't take anything. He's not on that board.
Oh, because that was the next one.
Yeah, you saved Lyle.
Yeah, you
Whew,
saved Lyle
thanks
for
for the
making
save.
an ass out of
Thanks for
himself by
saving me.
making
I
an ass
needed
out of
that.
yourself.
Thanks for the save.
Yeah.
Ooh. Johnny, it's your pick, right? Yeah.
I still have no idea.
Yeah.
Richard Zednick.
No, sorry.
Darn.
Close. Not really that close.
Well, you said there was a Z and a capital.
Oh, sorry.
what's that, Lyle?
Kevin Lowe.
Sorry, no. I think he's
Okay.
still in the Rangers.
Okay. Okay. Again, I'm still.
Wasn't Kevin Lowe the guy in Tommy Boy? He was like, Mike. He
No,
was
that
like,
was Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe. You're
Rob
close.
Lowe.
You're
Rob
close.
Lowe. It's Kevin
Yeah,
Lowe.
send him over some champagne and the note. Here's some champagne. Get drunk on me. Use the ice to ice down your marbles. Z.
Perfect. Love it. Are we tapping here, boys?
There's one more from the list.
All right, one more from the chat, and then
Craig
I'm gonna
McTavish.
try one more.
Tavish board.
Oh.
Tavish on the board.
Okay. Johnny.
I'm still thinking of caps from that time period, and I don't know. I'll know that I know them when I hear them.
When you hear them.
I'm just gonna say from around that time period, I'm gonna go with Kevin Hatcher.
Oh, sorry, no. Sorry. Lyle, you got one more in you?
One more. This is the only other Oiler I can think of. I'm gonna say
Who was it? I'm sorry.
Esa Tikkanen.
Sorry, no. He was
Okay.
That's a cuss word around here.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know.
yes.
Sorry.
How dare you?
You kept
I
bringing in
figured.
friggin' Oilers. So you know.
The former Capitals,
Okay.
Jeff Courtnall,
Oh.
Steve Leach,
Didn't know he was a cap.
Enrico Ciccone,
Ah, son of a hooker. I love that guy.
and Joe Murphy.
Ah.
Joe Murphy.
right.
The former Oilers, I think we named a lot of them. Anderson, Corson, Gretzky, Huddy, Igor Kravchuk.
Okay.
McTavish was mentioned. I want to say Jay Wells played for him for a bit. I think that was all the former Oiler. Oh, Bernie Nichols was one. Joe Murphy, another former Oiler.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. The rest of the best. Anderson was said. Barron was said. Corson, Courtnall, Adam Creighton, who scored a goal that game. Gretzky, Huddy, Hall, Kravchuk, Leach, McGinnis, McTavish, Stefan Matto. Star of the Mighty Ducks, Basil McRae.
Basil.
Brian Noonan, Chris Pronger,
Noonan.
Jay Wells, Peter Zezel, also on this team. For the Blackhawks, Tony Amante named, James Black, Carney, Chelios, Ciccone, Danton Cole, Jim Cummins, Daze, Ivan Drappa, The Beat, Steve Dubinsky, Ethan Morrow. There's a former Oiler.
Ethan Morrow. Yeah.
Murphy, Nichols, Probert, Cam Russell, Savard, Jeff Shantz, everybody, Gary Suter, and Ed Belfour.
Jeff Shantz going to play here.
Yeah, Jeff Shantz.
I was going to say, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did. He might have.
He did. That sounds familiar. Jeff Shantz in the Capitals jersey, I think.
Oh boy.
I have to find a picture to find out what color lace up this Admirals jersey had, because it doesn't come with the lace up.
Mm.
And no, Jeff Shantz never did play with the
But I'm sure I can find it.
Capitals.
I'm sure you can find it, Johnny. There's resources out there. All right, Lyle, you spent most of the 2 hours with us. We appreciate
That was
it.
fun,
Wow,
guys.
it's a
That was
long night.
fun.
You're gonna need a nap.
You're gonna
Yeah.
need a couple naps.
I'm going to need a couple of naps before I have my regular night's sleep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got to pre-sleep. Got to do that
Got to
pre-sleep.
do the pre-sleep before you do the real sleep. Yeah.
All right, Lyle. Next week we'll talk about all your brewery tours, and it'll be a fun time for everybody.
And all your Oyos, because as you said, I think we reached 95% full hockey tonight.
Oh yeah, no, I will be talking about I might do a video of the construction of the rink.
Oh, please do.
That'd be
Seriously,
great.
I want to
Nice.
see what this looks like. Come on.
I will do
In
that.
stop
I will-
motion.
Oh god, that'd be fantastic if it's stop motion.
It wouldn't.
What
be
if you
good,
make
good
pieces,
as,
make them in squares, and then in stop motion, put the squares down like you're putting it over a basketball basketball court.
It won't be as entertaining as an Adam Scorgie joint, but
no, here's the thing, and this is just me. They do make before Toys R Us went out of business. Some Chinese company got Oyo licensing and had a basketball court, and my thought was to buy the basketball court and put it over my Toys R Us Oyo's rink, which is a disaster because it's missing a lot of pieces. Luckily, I had extra sitting around. Don't ask me why. So I was thinking of buying one of those, one of the basketballs on the basketball courts on the open market, and then laying that down on the other rink, and then have a fun time. We'll see how that goes.
I like it because then you can take it down when you need it.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, Lyle. Thanks a lot, buddy. We'll talk to you again next week.
Talk to you again next week. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
You too. There he goes. Lyle Richardson, SpectorsHockey.net.
That's a lot of Lyle.
That's a lot of Lyles. At Spectors Hockey on Twitter if you want even more of a lot of Lyle. Johnny, how about some shout-outs?
I'll give a shout out to the live people tonight. The live chat was good.
Coming correct.
People came in, got some answers right. At one point, we had 5 people watching at the same time. It was amazing.
Hey.
It's huge numbers for us. Huge.
Good bump.
Give a shout out to the Black Bears. They didn't give me much grief at all. They were just like, "Hey, you want to cover us for the whole season?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Here, thanks.
Take this, my son."
I'll give a shout out to official NAHL hockey pucks. I put it in my pocket already, though.
Nice.
Not smart on my. The puck looks fantastic. It's a great puck. Great puck. I love official game pucks. The one that I got myself has gone right into the case. I have 2 more. I bought 2 more. One for Scotty and one for TBA, which I think is that's the person that's in Ottawa or no, sorry,
Edmonton.
In Edmonton later in the fall.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get TBA, then I'll give them a buck as well. Yeah, and thanks to the people that like my pictures. It's fun. I hadn't taken pictures in a while, and then I took pictures 3 days in a row, and everybody loves them. And it feels like something I should be doing, but I stopped refereeing so that I had more free time, not so that I could pick up another job. So we'll see about that. We'll see.
There you go. Awesome. Shout out to Adam Scorgie for coming on. Making Coco is the Twitter handle. MakingCoco.com is the place to see all the things that are happening, including the awesome trailer. And in December, it'll be the broadcast edit version on Sportsnet and probably distributed in America after that. Stay posted. Go at Making Coco for all that stuff. Shout out to the Black Bears. Murray Gunty, the owner, and Ryan Scott, the VP of operations there, for helping us to get some coverage this season. And yeah, if you guys want to sign up, you can go to Hockey TV and enjoy it. Or if you want to just stay tuned to Chesapeake Hockey Week, we love the numbers. Thank you for supporting. And shout out to Johnny for getting all those great pictures up close and personal with everybody. Some great shots. You couldn't tell he was rusty at all. He's looking fantastic. I think that's it. That's all. I think we're gonna go now. For Johnny P, I'm Scotty Waz. Take care of yourself, and someone else has been Face Off Hockey Show on Blog Talk Radio, blogtalkradio.com/face or FOHS Radio, Facebook.com/FOHS Radio, Twitter.com/FOHS Radio. All the fun stuff happening on those things. Also, thanks to our Patreon, patreon.com/Face Off Hockey Show, because I forgot we were doing a branding deal. You could be like Matthew and Damon and Mark, Trista, Brian, Angela, Sean, Jeff, Kevin, Ethan, Chris, Mitch. They're donating to us to help us out and do some things and some stuff. So we appreciate them, and you can go on if you want to check it out too. And like I said, possibly some things coming Patreon only for the season. We'll see about that. We'll see if I have the time. Probably will have the time. We'll see all about that. So that's it. We're going to go bye. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.
It's always too hard to choose, so you let it alone. Put it back on to another day. Looking around, you find another way. a signal, now it's time to get it on. 8 feet in dredging, I take another bomb. I'm worried about my life, but without this I'm done. This is just a symptom, cause for a long